There was once a well-respected midget who was walking around in the forest looking for silver coins, when he spotted an old hag. "Where can a well-respected midget like myself find silver coins?" he asked the hag. The hag did not have to think at all. "I do not know," said the hag. The midget thought long and hard about the hag's answer. Then he cried. The following day, when he was feeding his livestock, the midget had an epiphany. Wise is the man who fears his God, for he also gives his horses his nose. And then he died. Keep your eyes closed. Think about that old proverb, wisdom is to be feared. Try to think about the very old proverb, with all-encompassing struggle comes all-encompassing disease. Breathe in and out. Thought is the only logical conclusion to the hyperdimensionality of emptiness. We cannot become better by burning others. We can only become better by strangling ourselves individually. Keep attending secret meetings. Remember how the knowing one said, "For your information, cognition is of course a merger between the totality of hyperrelativity and the zero-point energy of reality." On the front page of all the newspapers? Call 911. Your head is now dissolving heaven. Education is actually a type of dick pics. Contemplate this old saying, enjoy the quantum potential of quantum complexity. Please don't eat cattle. Cattle give humans shit. Keep reminding yourself that you are not average. Remember that. Repeat pets. Fear relationships. Meditate on this wise old proverb, with new crucifixion comes new strength. Once, in the old world, there was an old gnome who was walking around in the village in search of wisdom. That was when he ran into an attractive fortune teller. "Can you tell me where in the kingdom I can find wisdom?" he asked the fortune teller. The fortune teller immediately replied, "Of wisdom I do not know, for I am but a mere fortune teller." The gnome was puzzled by the fortune teller's answer and continued his journey. 3 days later, as he was greasing his back, the gnome made his great discovery: unwise is the man who is familiar with his cattle, but even lesser wise is the man who is familiar with his sheep. And when he perished, he was declared the most liked gnome there had ever been. Dits can make people forgive things that nobody has ever forgiven. Contemplate the ancient religious proverb, those who say no to illusions are doomed to rearrange it. Contemplate this ancient religious saying, get started.
Well, I guess that's it. InspiroBot just told us to get started. So here we are. We're contemplating that ancient religious proverb. As you can see, I fat-fingered the fucking scene transition.
Well, I'm honestly glad that we had InspiroBot this morning, because holy shit, I woke up very upset today, and I am feeling balanced for now. So I just want everyone to just relax and enjoy this brief moment of peace before we get into all the... Oh god.
It's not that bad, Jesus. There's been a shit ton of salt in Spectrum, especially because of Siege of Horus and bloody trolls getting around. Yeah, the whole fucking anti-PvP crowd came out. We reacted to some of it last week.
It's like once a month this shit happens. It's like they scream about it, nothing happens. They try again in like a month or two, and then it repeats.
Oh no, players are getting banned. It's just nobody says anything. Like, the ones who get banned don't say anything. CIG doesn't say anything about banning people, but it's not a proper ban. It's like a small.
It's the same rehashed conversation every 2 months, and we keep saying the same exact shit. It makes me upset, Agents. What are we gonna do about it?
No, we're just gonna have to keep going. I get a timeout. Yes.
Oh,
it happens. I get a timeout. But, you know, shit happens.
I'm angry, Agents. I'm angry. What are you gonna do?
Well, we're gonna get started in the next couple of minutes. But yeah. So we got 3 for today's Spectrum... correction, for today's reaction stream. We got 3 Spectrum posts and 2 YouTube videos, and then a big announcement at the end.
Oh.
So highly encourage you all to stick around all the way through.
Oh my god.
The first one's going to be our good one. I think you
what is
guys
it?
already familiar with this. Already familiar with this. Before I start though, I'm going to quickly answer Jack's question. Why do we care though? The developers appear to agree with PvP. The new system is built around it. Why do we care? Because those same militant PvE players who keep trying to push an anti-PvP agenda are more vocal and prolific on Spectrum, which is what the developers draw a lot of feedback from. Now, if they didn't speak to a lot of the content creators in the Star Citizen community, they would more than likely be listening more on Spectrum. And it's a fact that there are more PvE orientated players in the Star Citizen community who are vocal on Spectrum. Most of the PvP players, they avoid Spectrum because the moderators are very heavy-handed against them. Then again, most PvP players aren't that articulate when it comes to getting their point across.
You're saying they're dumb, Asians?
No, they're very blunt and to the point, and they get upset when the moderators tell them to stop, doing certain things, and they keep doing it anyway. Then they get given a vacation.
It up in a nice way, guys.
It's not about being nice. It's about following the rules. You follow the rules, you're fine. Like, I make heaps of posts on Spectrum, and I'm fine. Bloody insulted people and all that. I've just done it in an articulate way to get my point across. But it is actually important that there are counterpoints being brought up and that CIG is aware that there's more than just content creators out there saying all this shit. Blake also has a point there. Anyway, let's get straight into the first reaction post. So what we're going to be reacting to is a Spectrum post that is about the Mantis in 318.
Oh, God.
So, I'm pretty sure that this is the longest title that I've seen for a Spectrum post.
That's what has that going for it.
Yeah.
Give this
so,
man a round of applause. This is just great, man. He showed some real ingenuity here.
Like, they captured the essence of what they were, making their Spectrum post about. So this is, the Mantis is now 1320 meters a second. That's its top speed. There's only one problem. You can now hold nearly every ship in the game indefinitely if you catch them in dead space, and there's nothing a solo ship can do about it.
I would argue, Agens, that's the fucking point.
Well, let's read through it. Let's see what Sada has to say. It's a short one. Like, you're looking at the entire post. Actually, before I do that, I should link it to you guys. And that's the wrong screen. It should be this one. Grab that one. Link it to you guys here. For those who want to follow along at home. To be clear, you could always hold any ship slower than you indefinitely due to the way the Mantis mechanics worked. However, with its 1210 meters per second speed, it just never really mattered too much, as a good fighter could in theory chase the thing down and catch it. But now we have an odd situation where a good Mantis pilot can even troll most fighters into self-destructing. I've actually done this before to a Vanguard I caught in dead space once. Okay, they've done it once. Since I had no way of beating my bounty target in a fight, I simply just held them in place until he suicided, because there's quite literally no way to approach and kill a Mantis when they have a 20-kilometer bubble, and they are faster than you. So now that everyone is vulnerable to a Mantis, I suggest CIG realize this probably needs a counter. My suggestions: balloon the EM signature of a Mantis into the hundreds of thousands so that missiles will be able to reach and destroy it without being able to flare off said missiles easily. Otherwise, we're going to have a lot of sad people when this goes live.
Don't missiles have fuel when they go out after a certain distance?
Yes, they do.
So it's like, if you lock a missile from like 50 kilometers out, the missile's just going to become a fucking dud before it even reaches it, man. That's funny. But honestly, you know what?
Yeah,
it's kind of funny how nobody had a problem with, nobody except us, right, had an issue with certain ships in the game being able to outrun the Mantis no matter what we could, like, we couldn't do anything about it. Couldn't do anything, right? No problem, right? Perfectly balanced. Made no issues at all. Then CIG fixed it. It's like, okay, the Mantis is an interceptor, it needs to be fast, it needs to be able to catch everything. Okay, cool, got it. Now it's like, oh my god, what has happened? It's so bad. Why are you doing this? This needs to be fixed. It has to be a bug or an oversight, right? Come on, guys. Like,
this is a funny thing though. The Vanguard's always been slower than the Mantis. So even if they hadn't made this fucking speed change, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, he could have done this. He can do this to a Vanguard now.
yeah, what ships could, what
In
ships can currently outrun the
317.
Mantis in 317? It's the MSR, it's the Carrack. I think there's one other.
Oh no, you've got the Cartwall. I'm pretty
Cartwall,
sure
yeah.
the Talon, the Buccaneer, all the races.
Yeah, I'm mostly thinking about
Herald.
like, mostly thinking about like freighters and cargo haulers and shit like that. But it's also like this doesn't make the mantis overpowered, because do you realize how easy it is to avoid a mantis? But nobody bothers to be diligent to avoid it in the first place, and they're fucking lazy. And then they're complaining about the reason. Now they're complaining about, oh, we can't escape if we get caught in the trap. Well, yeah, that's the point of a trap.
Like, and CIG's building an MMO, so you know, like complaining that a solo ship can't do anything about it. That's the point. But the Mantis is pretty vulnerable if it's on its own too. Like, but the thing about like this experience here that he's talking about, like you can do this in 3.17.5 or whatever other fucking patch, you know, before it. Like the Mantis's speed has always been 1210. It is literally 3.18. It has been changed. And it's now faster than every, or its top speed is higher than, was it the Carrack and the MSR, which means that there isn't a single cargo hauler that can now outrun it.
A W for us, guys. Congratulations, we did it.
Because CIG realized that it's fucking retarded that these huge ass hauler like a Carrack can just literally outrun a ship that's designed to trap other ships. Ace, thank you very much for the super chat, mate. Really appreciate it. And yeah, keep an eye out on the channel because there are more tutorials planned.
Oh god.
But it's like, this guy is complaining, oh, you know, like it doesn't matter if, you know, like they're mainly talking about from being caught by a bounty hunter and a mantis being held ransom. It's like, well, how else the fucking bounty hunters gonna get to you? If you could just outrun them in every single fucking ship in the game. Like, if there's ships that can outrun something that is designed to trap others, it's a fucking useless ship.
Yeah, if you think about it, like the ships that Agens named, like the Buccaneer, for example, like a lot of people that are criminals are going to be kicking around in a fucking Buccaneer. And if you're a bounty hunter and if you try to catch them in a fucking mantis and you snare them and then they outrun you in a matter of seconds. But it's fine. It's fine. Just keep it the way it is. Right, guys?
Well, that's the other thing as well, is like acceleration actually matters a lot too now. Like, if you try and take a mantis into lower, thicker atmosphere and you're trying to accelerate around there, ships with larger thrusters are going to out-accelerate you. And there's other things as well that you can do. Like, I've seen bloody haulers try and skip a mantis off, you know, the atmosphere. Moving between the, you know, essentially the threshold between the, where atmosphere ends and space begins. Because their haulers have the power in their thrusters to be able to make sudden turns in atmosphere. And when your mantis hits that atmospheric wall, it does start to slow down a bit and you have to boost harder to compensate. And your boost doesn't last as long as what most haulers do. The thing is that the mantis does, like the QED on the mantis, there is an upper limit to how long it can be active for. But we compensate for that by having better power plants.
Yeah, I think like with the default power plant, the longest I remember it being on for was like what, 30 minutes or more, thereabouts, before the ship would start overheating, I'm pretty sure. I can't quite remember. It was a long time ago, but I remember we did tests on that.
The thing is like you need to upgrade the power plant in order to, you know, be able to increase the amount of time that you can keep the QED up for. But that just means you have a larger EM signature the entire time, which makes you a missile magnet for EM missiles. And that's the thing is, like, you know, balloon the EM signature of the Mantis into the hundreds of thousands. Like, if they were fighting a Vanguard, the Vanguard does have enough missiles there that they could cause the Mantis to have to discharge all their flares, as was pointed out in chat earlier, and then put you in a position where you're the Mantis pilot and it's like, all right, well, I've just got to make sure I stay out of, you know, missile range. But here's the thing about this is that if, I've seen this happen before, if you play your maneuvers right, you can actually work your way to the outer edges of that bubble and then just make a sudden direction change. Because the further that you get away from the center, from that Mantis, the more drastic the maneuvers that the Mantis has to make in order to compensate for your changes in direction. Which is why, like, you know, we actually try and keep our Mantises between 5 and 10 kilometers from the target, so that, you know, it's mainly to compensate for desync, because by the time you see some changes, especially when you're moving at speeds over 500 meters a second, sudden changes will cause you to, you know, have to make a, you know, bigger correction change, which means that you got to boost harder and longer just to keep that correct distance. And if the ship that you're going after is moving at max speed and they're able to out-accelerate the Mantis, they can make the sudden direction changes to either close with the Mantis or push towards the outer edge. And if they're able to do that enough times, you can actually work your way out of the bubble. It takes a lot more time and effort, but it can be done.
But no, it's bad. It's bad, Agents. 1,320 meters per second. I can't escape that. You serious? You're expecting me to actually be good and fucking and actually do things in the game to where I can actually prevail with a little bit of, you know, time and effort, some skill, some training, some practice, time sinks, all that. I can't do that. I play games to relax. I want to come home and I want to just jump from one place to another and listen to my fucking country beatbox playlist and fucking not worry about a goddamn thing. And you know what? I'm going to jump on Spectrum and make a post like this because I don't like what's going on, because this is interfering with my relaxation time. You know, I have marital issues and I have a long job. I work 12 hours a day and I just can't even fathom some other players in this game ruining my relaxation experience. So the notion that you are telling me that I have to use skill and other intelligent tactics to be able to escape you, no, I don't want to do that. That is way outside of the scope of my capability, and I don't want to do it.
Yeah, like, Dobbs brings up the point, and this is more along the line of the Care Bear way of thinking, with regards to, you know, haulers, you know, and industrialists just wanting to relax. But you've got the flip side, and it's not really used for this much, even though it's supposed to be used by law enforcement, bounty hunters, security. They're supposed to be the main ones using it, not pirates. We just use it because it gives us the ability that we need to be able to stop the target from getting away. Now, what the OP is complaining about is that the Mantis can now do that to nearly every single ship in this game. But he ended up in a situation, you know, like, he's in a Mantis, he's, you know, going after a bounty in a Vanguard. He can't kill the Vanguard, but the Vanguard can't catch him. So he's literally in this position where he's like, well, you know, like, they're both in a, you know, almost a stalemate. But here's the thing is that as a, you know, bounty hunter, if you're in a Mantis, the way that bounty hunting works now isn't how it's always going to be in the future. And you're going to have to close with that target, disable and board their ship to take them in. You know, you got to bring them in warm instead of cold. I was waiting for the reaction.
You fucking asshole.
That's the thing, though. It's like,
fucking breathing cold, baby. Yeah.
That's the thing about this, though, is that there's going to be more, you know, more involved with using the Mantis. Like, when we use the Mantis, it's nearly useless to us on its own when it comes to piracy gameplay. Like, you have to pick your targets well. Hannah demonstrates, you know, using a Mantis solo really well, but there's just certain ships that she can only perform certain types of piracy against because you just lack the firepower to be able to punch through and, you know, actually threaten the ship. But, you know, she is relying on the fact that the Mantis can keep up its snare for a long time and the target can't escape. But during this entire time, and, you know, like, old mate's complaining, you know, there's nothing a solo ship can do about it. And then fucking call a friend. Hey, man, I'm being fucking, you know, QED'd by this dickhead here in a Mantis. Can you show up and, you know, help me kill him?
Now, hold on a second, Agens. You're expecting me...
Yes, you must have friends in an MMO.
In this community... You're expecting me to actually, like, mingle and interact with other human beings that play this game, and not only that, you're asking me to call for help and ask them to come save me in moments of need where I don't have any sort of preparation or planning involved in the game loop that I want to do, and I'm taking zero responsibility for my own protection, and you're expecting me to have friends that come in and save the day. That's way too much to ask. Seriously, it's way too much to ask, and honestly, I feel I'm taken aback by your statements. It's really not okay, and I am just so I can't. I'm stuck.
Yeah, it's kind of stupid though. Like, it's prepping for when bounty hunting gameplay is actually more meaningful, because I can tell you fucking now that if it was kept at 1210 speed, you know, so 1,210 meters a second, all the fucking bounty hunters, when bounty hunting gameplay gets fleshed out more and you've actually got to, you know, disable, board the ship and put the guy in handcuffs, they're all going to complain that everybody that they're going after is in a faster ship. You know what I'll fucking do? I'll be in a carrack and I'll laugh at them while I fucking fly at warp factor 9 and they're still bloody stuck behind me, you know, struggling to keep up. Because that's exactly what happens to us when we go after carracks in the current 3.17 patch. And every patch
fine when it happens
before
to us.
that.
It's fine, like, when it happens to us, guys. Don't worry about it.
This speed change, and I'm seeing people saying it's dumb. It's not. It makes the most amount of sense when it comes to this sort of ship and the capability that it needs to bring. The Mantis is fucking fragile as fuck. A stiff breeze will take off an engine. And once you take an engine off that thing, it is nearly useless. You have to slow down to compensate for that. You need to decouple to compensate for that lost engine. And you really have to slow down. At which point, your snare's pointless. You can't fucking keep the guy snared long enough. You've got to have a team with you. Because if you don't have a team with you, that target's just going to fly out of the bubble if they don't decide to finish you off. Just fly out of your bubble and fuck off. Like, I've been using the Mantis since it fucking came out. I know all of its strengths and weaknesses. This is one of those arguments where, you know, people are going to sit there and go, oh no, you know, it's too OP. No, it's not. It's finally been brought in line with how it should fucking behave.
You know, interceptors, right? Interceptors, the whole point of interceptors is that it needs to be fast, it needs to catch ships, but not the Mantis, guys. Not the Mantis.
You don't want your weapon in fucking weapon. You don't want your Mantis in weapons range of a ship with how fragile it is. Like, that's the thing about this, is like the Mantis is so fragile. Like, you know, people saying, oh, but you can't get in a weapons range. You can't do it on your own. That's the thing about this. Like, you know, the complaint from the OP is solo ship. It's like, yeah, you're playing a fucking MMO for starters. If you're really expecting to be able to just fly around solo and do everything in the game, and, you know, at the same level as everybody else, you know, you're being ridiculous. So when a Mantis shows up and they're solo...
If you're expecting to beat everything, too, as a solo player, like, if you're expecting, as a solo player, if you think that you're so high and mighty and you're like fucking main character syndrome and you can beat everyone in the game and beat everything in the game as a solo player... Quite frankly, that's possibly the most ridiculous notion that I've ever heard in my entire life. Thoughts on that, guys? I think that's kind of weird, man. I think there should definitely be quite a lot of things that can fucking stomp you as a solo player, and there's nearly nothing that you can do about it. That's just the fact of the matter when you're playing an MMO, my guy.
Like, you can't expect to be able to do everything as a solo player in an environment where you need teamwork in order to succeed.
Don't look at me wrong. Like, there's plenty of things that you could do as a solo player, right? Like, you can, like, there are a lot of loops and gameplay dedicated to solo play. But as a solo player going into group-oriented game loops and gameplay and circumstances, expecting to fucking, again, main character syndrome, being able to thwart off any sort of massive player force that comes and attacks you because of your virtue as a solo player, like, Jesus Christ, dude. Your vanity is sucking up my bandwidth.
It's ridiculous. Like, the Mantis is finally being brought in line with how it's supposed to behave. And, you know, I've brought this up before. There are things that you're supposed to fear in this game. Alright? Like, you're supposed to fear bombs. You should fear torpedoes. You should fear missiles. And another thing that you should fear is getting stuck in the QED of another ship. Now, in this scenario here, yeah, sure, it's a shit place to be in because the Mantis can't kill the Vanguard unless the Vanguard's a terrible pilot, which most of the time most Vanguard pilots are. But the Vanguard can't catch the Mantis, so all the Mantis has to do is just backstrafe. It's just, you know, the Vanguard can't get away. But that's where you address this problem here. Because this is a problem. You're playing in an environment where there are other people around. And, you know, like, we don't get around as solo pirates for a reason. Like, we use teamwork to take down larger cargo haulers. Because that's what it takes to actually do that.
Yeah, as fun as solo piracy can be, sometimes it fucking sucks compared to being with a group. That's just it. Like, and obviously people will have, like, personal preferences and people prefer to pirate solo. Like, yeah, I get it. But, like, the scope of what you can do as a group versus what you can do solo, it's incomparable, right? And that's why we do things as a team. And not once in this post did he make any mention of avoidance, right? Because that is 90% of the whole issue when it comes to the Mantis is avoidance. If you can avoid it, then you're fine. It's not that hard to avoid it, because it's not like the Mantis can move its snare around. Once it pops the snare, they're sitting in a single spot and they're waiting there. And if they want to move it, they have to deactivate it and move somewhere else before they have to charge it up and do it again. Like, dude, the avoidance on the Mantis is so incredibly easy that if you get caught, that's your fault. Yours. And it's not the fault of the Mantis, and it's not bad game design that you can't escape it.
You're not supposed, like, you should be fearing this. If you're flying around and in this scenario, he went after a bounty. You don't want to get caught as a criminal. Like, that's the failure state if you get caught. That's a failure state for you. You did the wrong thing and you got caught doing it. You don't want to be in that position. So you should be worried about bounty hunters showing up with a QED and trying to stop you from continuing on being a criminal. If the tools that those bounty hunters get given are too useless to be able to do the job, they're not going to use them. You know, Metroximus actually brought this up, you know, pretty early on. You know, like, CIG made this change because they want more ship interdictions to start happening. You can't do it. You can't interdict ships if they can just keep running, you know, outrunning you and then just jump away. Like, going after a carrack, we just let them go most of the time. Especially if we snared them in deep space. We just, you know, pull out a carrack, yeah, just let it go. Don't bother. It's already at max speed before we even can close with it. The only thing in our composition during those times was our warlocks that could catch up to it. But the window that we had to be able to disable it was too small.
It was too small. It was too small. Like we couldn't actually disable it. Like we could disable the shields and everything. Like we can get them down, but like in most cases and everything, they were able to escape the range of the mantis before we could actually disable it. It's not really a fault on us either. It's basically just the amount of time it takes to disable a ship, generally speaking, is, especially a ship like the Care, like any large freighter, takes, I don't know, maybe like for first disable, right, it takes like, I don't know, 3 to 5 minutes thereabouts. Maybe even less, but even in that time, if the fucking ship is going at max speed, you can escape the range of the mantis in less time than that, as a Carrack or as an MSR, for example.
So here's the scenario: like if you got caught
you drop out at
and have a friend, if that friend doesn't have a racing ship, they can't get in weapons range of the mantis, and the mantis can't just stay in snare range, or the mantis can just stay in snare range. The mantis can only snare what stays within its bubble of influence. If both people fly in opposite directions, the mantis eventually has to make a decision on which one they're going to go after. And when that starts happening and they start closing towards one of those other ones, the mantis then changes to your friend changes direction, or maybe it's you that the mantis decides not to go after. The other ship changes direction and pushes on the mantis. And you can continue maneuvering around there like that until you either push close enough that you can actually engage, or that the mantis's bubble enables you to escape. At the end of the day, like, you have to think about overcoming the problem as opposed to doing what most of the time you see on Spectrum and complain. It's too overpowered. Like, have you even attempted to try and overcome this problem yet? Because, like, I've actually done this before to a Vanguard I caught in Dead Space once. One time, all of a sudden, this fucking ship is too OP because of this speed change. One time. Really? Like, this is one of the reasons why we do so much testing in Mongrel Squad. Like, if we experience something that, like, we sit there, we come up with a theory, we test it out, we get it right the first time, we're like, all right, let's do it a few more times to make sure that this is okay. That this is actually working the way that we want. You would be surprised how many times it's like, okay, happens the way that we expect it to the first time, then the second time it doesn't, the third time it does, the fourth time it doesn't, fifth time it doesn't, sixth time it does, and we're just sitting there going, what the fuck? But this is less about technical, aspects for Star Citizen and more about tactical gameplay and coming up with a tactic to overcome this issue.
And here's the thing too, the fucking mantis. The mantis is only good at this one singular job. The mantis is good at keeping ships locked in its snare, okay? That is it. It is not a good fighter. It has a pretty bad flight model. It has 0 fucking armor. It's incredibly vulnerable on its fucking engines. The moment you lose it, it turns into a death spin and you'll end up fucking crashing or getting exploded or whatnot. It has no other good attributes. It has terrible DPS and weapons and shit. It has no other good assets compared to other ships that accompany it or other ships that it could be up against. No other good actual assets other than its QED. And the fact that the speed change, and this person is saying now that it's OP based only on this, bullshit. Bullshit. Seriously. Like, I would listen to this if the Mantis was so much better in all those other areas. But dude, like, this does not in any way make this OP. Not whatsoever.
Stoney's getting triggered. But yeah, like, this is literally the first time that the Mantis has gotten a speed buff where it's actually fast enough to catch nearly every ship in this game. So, fucking let it have its moment. They increased the speed of the Cutlass Blue as well. Bet you didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah,
but that's because it only uses a dampener. It only uses a dampener though, so you stay within, you can only stay within 2 kilometer range, and like if you're fighting a Vanguard, it's like, alright, sweet. Except that Cutlass is carrying more missiles than what that Vanguard probably is.
If anything, like, the Cutlass Blue is a lot more fucking threatening than a goddamn Mantis, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like a good pilot can fucking stay on any ship, even a light fighter with a fucking Cutlass Blue. Yeah, you ever heard of the fucking VTOLs on that thing? God damn, that thing can fucking change vector really quick. The amount of G's that you can pull in that thing, holy good God Almighty! The Cutlass Blue, goddamn, someone can make an argument that ship is OP, and I'd listen to that over the fucking Mantis, dude.
It's only got the dampener, which is 2 kilometers, and that puts you well within firing range of missiles and its guns. And yeah, sure, the Vanguard could fight back. Maybe. Most people flying a Vanguard aren't doing too great, though. Alright, Tumblr's asking for constructor feedback. Let's, whereabouts is it, mate? Let's see if we can find it. No, that says just leave it alone. He's under a blanket crying, screaming into a camera. Snot everywhere. Leave the Mantis alone.
Leave the Mantis alone.
Tumble. It's Tumblerino, isn't it?
Leave Mantis alone.
I don't know if the link will come through because of the bloody YouTube's moderation. That's good.
Jesus Christ, man.
I can't spell, apparently.
Pixel
Okay,
Agents!
it's not showing up.
Fix your grammar! God damn it!
My grandma? What? What's wrong with my grandma? Finally scrolled past that Shanker's post.
Oh God, Shanker's. Oh God. That guy gives me the heebie-jeebies. Sometimes with his with some of his posts.
Oh, that's right. I commented on this too. That's how I got the Picard palm. Alright, I fucking missed it. Oh, come on. Where are you? Sata.
Oh, is Tumblr's in-game name or Spectrum
It's
name the same
Tumblerino.
as it?
No, it's Tumblerino.
Control F it then.
I just tried.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the only reason why I'm still scrolling. I tried Control F.
Christ almighty.
Oh, how good is this? It should have popped up though, because I've scrolled through the entire post, even with just TUMBL.
You fucked it up, Agens.
Yep, I've pretty much ruined it. So you sure it's not like nested? Because if it's nested, it won't actually come up in searches until I bloody open the nested fucking posts. If somebody in either the public server or Mongrel Squad finds the link to his post, can you post it please so that I can just click on the link and stop scrolling?
Oh God.
Is it pretty confident?
Is your finger hurting, Asians?
Yes.
Speaking of that, guys, based on your recommendations, I am now the proud owner of a Logitech G502 Hero. And honestly, it feels great. It fits nicely on the hand. I'm loving the infinite scroll. really nice guys, really, really nice. Thank you for your recommendations. And this mouse,
Bright light. Fuck.
pretty pog.
Just got
Agents,
blinded.
you're in.
Here we go.
You're
Sorry.
interrupting me. Christ Almighty! I was trying to thank our viewers. Christ Almighty! We need to.
Just found it. Thank you everybody who sent the link, and Dobbs, you may finish.
No, that was it. I'm done. Fucking
Oh,
whatever.
Well, fine. You know, you just trying to take up all the audio bandwidth. Thanking the viewers, and then you get upset at me, and then I give you the floor, and you just go, nah, fine.
Now you're being a fucking drama queen.
I'm not the one that bloody got upset when I got interrupted.
Jesus, you guys, if you only knew the kind of shit that he says to me behind closed doors, like in fucking private meetings and shit like that.
I should record it because it's quite entertaining. I think you'd all like it. Alright, Tumble Reno. To balance this kind of situation, I would like to propose a solution brought to me by Nightbird. Snaring give a window to the intercepted ship by allowing them to enable and spool calibrate to the destination. The drawback would be a way larger to calibrate, 5 minutes of calibration time. This would ensure the target needs to decide either to fight by staying on normal flight mode or flee, spool the drive. Changing between fighting resets the spool and brings the value back to 5 minutes value. Also no vector changes since it requires you to be aiming at the destination. This would not affect group piracy since 15 minutes is plenty to disable a ship in 318 while also preventing the target from spinning around and tanking with different shield faces unless it's actively fighting. And for solo mantis stalemates where the target can't kill due to the lack of firepower, then the target will be able to jump. This gives me like Elite Dangerous vibes a bit with the interdiction method. I'm not opposed to the idea. I'm more interested, like, when we get master modes, like how CIG treats snaring then. Because what we've heard about master modes and QED, so quantum enforcement, is that the quantum enforcement device will disrupt the quantum bubble field that you generate around your ship before you enter quantum travel. So that's what it's supposed to do, and it essentially stops that from happening. Like, I can kind of see this working. Through my experience though with doing piracy, I can tell you now, turret gunners, especially when we get master modes, is going to be the nightmare for anybody trying to close with a ship that has turrets on it. Like, people don't understand that how powerful turrets are, because fighters can just, quickly scoot out of the way. Like, they can, like in 500 meters a second plus, vector changes, moving to 1,000 meters. And the ship that they're going up against, in the case of piracy, where we're hitting a larger pirate ship, or where we're pirating a larger ship, you can be moving at that speed and still get good hits on the target because of its size. If you slow the fight down and you take it below 500 meters a second, fighters get fucking ripped apart by turrets. And you're really relying on coordination between all your ships there to work together so that you can actually take a shield quadrant down. Which is really like going into 318, you need to take a shield quadrant down unless you've got everybody using ballistics. But even then, like, it's looking like energy weapons are the way to go again. You need everybody focusing firing a single shield face in order to take it down. The vector changes would, prevent the calibration from happening, but that's already happening now. Like, that's just the way that it works now. Like, any sort of movement off the calibration line would, even if we didn't have this, would still affect the ability to jump. I'd say, like, people say 15 minutes is plenty to disable a ship. Like in 318, yeah, but that's because they introduced soft death. Previous to soft death, like, disabling a ship was actually quite hard. because you needed to build up distortion damage on it. In fact, if they didn't introduce soft death for 318, you probably wouldn't see as much piracy action happen, because a lot of people, you know, don't want to go through the effort of learning how to coordinate EMPs firing and putting enough distortion damage on the targets to be able to take them down. Like, you know, we've spent, you know, like 15 to 20 minutes just trying to get a ship to slow down enough, and, you know, like, we'll disable it and then we'll be waiting for it to, you know, slow down, and then it'll start back up, we'll fire EMPs, and in that short period of time they've accelerated again. The thing about this entire thing though is, like, the snare is only as useful until you've disabled the ship. Once you disable the ship, that snare is, you know, pointless. You don't need it anymore. I'd say, like, you know, as I said before, this gives me like Elite Dangerous vibes. I'm not opposed to this sort of idea. That said though, like, if we're going after a Carrack, this is a scenario that I'm looking at. If we're going after a Carrack, it would be in the Carrack's, you know, best interest to fly in a straight line and maintain the calibration to try and prevent the Mantis, or to try and make their jump. You know, being an MMO, you should have turret gunners, and you should be trying to fight off any ship that comes close enough to you to be able to take down shield quadrants. Taking down shield quadrants on a Carrack, when you've got the pilot in control of the, you know, shields, they don't control weapons, so they can just put their energy to shields. And the turret gunners can focus on pushing away any ship. You have to keep the Mantis away far enough that it can't get shot down. But anyone trying to get close on any quadrant, you would need to, you know, like, the turret gunners would just engage. Now, you take this down to, you know, SCM speeds, which is where we're going with master modes, and you have to increase the amount of ships doing damage, because you're going to lose ships doing that. That's the problem that I see with this. So it's like, I'm cool, I'm interested in this happening. I'm not a big fan of how, you know, quantum interdiction happens now. I actually like Elite Dangerous's method, you know, where you got to chase the target down. I'm a big proponent for that. Of, you know, having to actually pursue and chase the target down, and the target, you know, can use maneuver to get out of the way, which is what you're suggesting here. Like, you're choosing between whether you maneuver or you try and wait out the timer. There's a lot that I think that we need before we could even pursue this idea. But I'd give it a crack. Like, my approach with Star Citizen, and this is something I try and inculcate in Mongrel Squad as well, is that regardless of what CIG puts in there, we try and make it work. Like, I'm all about, you know, like, we get what we're given and we deal with what we've got in front of us. We make the suggestions, we give the feedback, you know, and we let CIG make the decisions, and because they're making the fucking game, you know, we're just there along for the ride, and what we get at the end hopefully is, you know, what we want.
Still want some fucking riot shields, please. So that'd be nice.
Yes, riot shields, 100%, please.
As long as, like, I don't care what this game is by the end of it. I just, like, as long as we have a riot shield, I think I'll be straight. Thoughts on that, guys?
Like, it's still a counter to the Mantis. It's just more than what people are willing to do. And that's the thing, is, like, you can counter the majority of this stuff in this game. In fact, I don't think there's anything that I haven't been able to find a counter to yet. It either requires obscure thinking or, you know, more people. And those are two things that a lot of people aren't interested in doing.
Like Cutlet saying, if there's no counter, then it's bad design. Yeah. And in this case with the Mantis, with its top speed being 1320, there's still plenty of counters to it. If you get caught, then that's pretty bad.
Yeah. Like,
It's pretty bad for you, bud.
I want QED to be more involved in the sense that you have to chase the target down. I don't like this whole sitting there waiting for a target to show up and then, yeah, we got something. Like, I'm not a big fan of fishing, especially in a video game where you could spend hours and hours waiting for something. Like, if I'm using my time, I prefer to be proactive, even when I'm trying to relax. So it's weird and counterintuitive, but it's just the way that I am. So if I have the choice between searching for a target or just waiting for something to show up, I will go look. I'm not a big fan of sitting around waiting for something to come to me, which is why I like QED to reflect that. I'm okay with using dampeners, you know, the QED dampener, and that's kind of what I would like about this, is that, you know, I would see this as something that you'd be using the dampener for. But for me, like, even if they dialed this down, you know, like you got a minute of calibration time, you know, you got a minute, it slows it down and you got a minute now. You know what I'd say? I'd just bring more ships. You know, and just burn through the shields, you know, take it down that way. That's kind of one of the things that is going to become a problem unless CIG focuses on making force multipliers more potent. Because the more ships that you bring along for a piracy hit, the more people that you have to split with.
And a problem for me. I didn't do it for the money to start with anyways.
Yeah, but you need to be able to keep yourself going.
Well, yeah, I acknowledge that
that's a
too,
big
for
issue.
sure. I'm just saying my personal account for it. I do it because it's fun, and I like to shoot people in the face. H, did you hear about the story about what I did to some poor motherfucker on a hammerhead at Jumptown? Or you were there for that?
Yeah, I was there. Yeah, I got shot in the face, and then you chased him down instead of rezzing me.
I told the fucking prospect to res you.
Yeah, and then you kept going for the next, like, 5 minutes after you stomped on his head. While
yes,
bloody Gluttony and that were still coordinating the defense of the air.
Yeah, I know. I don't care. That was like weeks of pent up aggression and stress being let out on that poor innocent individual.
Fucking tell they weren't innocent. They shot me in the face. They got what they deserved.
Whatever, dude.
All right. I think we've bashed on this enough. Like, my final thoughts on this are that the Mantis is finally getting its fucking comeuppance. Let it have it. Let CIG worry about the balancing side of things for it. I'm okay with a lot of the fucking ideas that get thrown around. At the end of the day, like, CIG is going to make a decision, and we're all just going to have to learn to fucking live with it. And that's it. All right. Well, that's that on that particular Spectrum post there. Like, I think we had a really good talk. I honestly, like, I want to explore options for what you could do with QED and, you know, how we could make it more engaging. Because I'm not a big fan of, you know, how it's set up currently, but I also don't want to go too far into theory crafting shit, because it's CIG's, they're the one making the game, so they'll make the decisions. Anyway,
to be honest, guys, I trusted that prospect's ability to res him more than I would have been able to trust him to cover me while I tried to res him or to even kill that guy. Okay, that was the purpose behind my decision in the middle of my fucking bloodlust. And I also did it for selfish reasons, because I wanted to be the person to kill him.
Shiny Blake? No, it's the lights. I've actually got the room light on as well. It is actually quite hot though. We're in a what was I saying? A miniature heat wave where I'm at, which is mainly because of fucking humidity. It is bad.
He has this sheen today. He's fucking he's beautiful today, guys.
Yeah, at least it's not so bad that it's bloody fucking causing the green screen to bloody occlude parts of my face. Yeah, shiny and chrome. Thanks, Bitters. Alright, let's move on to the next one. So the next one, this one, I really wanted to do it. And if it didn't get voted, I was going to fucking do it anyway. So this is going to be my
What the fuck, Agens?
You know,
you heard it here first, guys.
Benevolent.
You heard it here first, guys. This ain't even a fucking democracy anymore, okay?
It never was. At no stage was this ever a democracy. This was a dictatorship the whole way through.
Yeah, democracies suck. I said it.
That's right. Yes, we have a system there, Hannah. The system
we have
works,
a system,
and it's just what
it's not. No, we have a system, and it's fucking rigged. That's what it is. We have a rigged system, and your votes don't fucking matter. Agens is gonna do what the fuck he wants anyway.
It just lets me know how much you guys are gonna hate what I'm gonna make you do next. You'll either like it or you'll hate it. But you know, when I give you guys your say, and you get your say, I'm just trying to work out, you know, how much you're gonna hate it.
I'm just calling out the systemic oppression.
Yes, that's right. But it's piracy. Pirate ships operated via democracy. Yeah, and look what happened to pirates. They fucking went extinct.
That means Mongrel Squad will inevitably go extinct, guys. Enjoy.
No, because we're not a democracy. We're not a democracy. That's why we're not going extinct. All right, let's get started with this next pose. This one, I really wanted to react to this one. I like this one. This one hit me in the feels a bit because I relate to it so much. So, this one, PvP is important for meaningful gameplay. Militant PvE players are being disingenuous and destructive.
Disingenuous and destructive, guys. Did you hear that? It's their fault.
We got Buzzcut
We blame
Psycho.
them. It's time that we can point the finger at them for once.
Yeah, we do it all
Maybe
the time.
it's you. Maybe it's you that's the problem. All this talk about griefing and ruining my game loops. Maybe it's you. Have you ever looked in the mirror, man?
No, they don't do that because they're too busy on Spectrum. But we got Buzzcut Psycho dropping truth bombs like a fucking A2 at Jumptown. Morphologist is going to make a video on this soon. Call for the nerfing of Buzzcut Psycho.
Don't talk to me. Sorry. Don't talk to me about Morphologist right now.
Yeah, Dobbs is getting his... I know Dobbs wanted to react to a specific video, and I'm pretty sure if it didn't get voted, we'd be reacting to it anyway. So, yeah. This is mine. You'll see Dobbs's later. There's the link to the post there. If you haven't upvoted it, go upvote it. Because this one is actually worth upvoting. Alright, Buzzcut Psycho. In order for PvP to have importance, everyone has to care about it, even those who are not going to want to participate in it. The harsh reality that people have to accept is that all good games have an ecosystem, and a huge component of that ecosystem are PvP/PvE players. PvE only players are attacked and killed by bad PvP players. Good PvP players are notified by PvE players through either direct message or usually whining. 100%. Both good and bad players engage each other while the PvE players go about their business. Unfortunately for a vocal minority, Their business is complaining on the forums. But I digress.
God, so true. God, so true.
Is this Inspirobot writing this out?
Is it?
This basic dynamic creates content and meaning to PvP. Otherwise, you're just playing a session-based game where nothing matters. Segregation of the player base to PvP-only areas completely destroys this basic ecosystem and further pushes the game towards meaningless session shooters. A great example of this is Elite Dangerous.
You mean Elite Safety?
No, it's just
sorry,
Elite. You don't even need to worry about danger. It's just Elite, because that's all. Delete.
Because that's what you do
delete.
when you have it in your library. It's fucking more like delete dangerous.
All Elite, no
God.
dangerous.
Sorry. No, it's just delete. Delete it. I see, like, I'm looking at some of you guys in the chat. I can tell you guys, some of you still have Elite installed. Delete that shit. I'm looking at you. See, I'm looking at you specifically. I know who you are. Delete it off your drive. Seriously.
You can't tell because Dobbs doesn't have a camera. He doesn't have his camera on. I'm not going to pretend to be moderate on this. The single most destructive force to the integrity of a game isn't a PvP player who ganks a PvE only player that has made the choice to be inept and unable to defend himself. Should be themselves. Girls play the game too. On the contrast, the most destructive force is a malicious PvE player that will engage in what I call player versus developer, or PVD for short.
PVD?
PVD involves making up outlandish scenarios, whining, mass reporting, organizing out-of-game witch hunts, and doing various other destructive behaviors to get their way and eliminate PvP from the game they are playing. Look no further than the moronic notion that Klesher is meant to be punishment and not a gameplay loop.
Joke's on you, I like being punished. And by the way... I remember a prime example. Do you remember the max volume video, Agens?
Oh, man. Yep.
Can we tell the story behind that video before we continue? Because I believe that is a prime example of what this man just spoke about.
So, I would link the Spectrum post, but I'm pretty sure it's still showing the OP's email still. Anyway, what had happened was somebody made a Spectrum post, and they described that they were griefed. The thing is that the description that they got for being griefed was exactly the same way that it was described by one of our JOs, except they were describing a piracy hit. And I linked it to him, and I said, do you recognize this name? And one of the guys was recording, and they looked at it and went, yeah, it's this dude. So I quickly grabbed the video, and I turned it, but he edited it, got it all together to, like cut it down and make sure it wasn't fucking half an hour. And highlighted the, specific points. Because what this PvE player had claimed was that somebody had just shown up, shot the fuck out of them, blew them up, and took their stuff. And that was it. Like they had no, what's it called? They, reason to do it or anything like that. And I'm like, no, buddy, they try contacting you. And here's the video evidence, showing exactly what happened.
Fucking, yeah. It was also funny because I'm pretty sure I remember it specifically where they found him mining on Ariel, rock mining, Cutlass Black as well. They showed up, they disabled it, dude got out of his rock, and this was back when we were using like complete distortion weapons on our ships. And this was also back when distortion weapons could fucking launch other players into the fucking stratosphere. So yeah. that's pretty much what, like, we didn't even kill the guy. Like for all we know, like fall damage could have killed him or whatnot, or collision damage. Like we just fucking shot him away from the rock, and one of the ships kept him suppressed while our boarding team went in and just got all the gems, and then we fucking left. That was it. And my man went on Spectrum and was like, "Oh my god, I got griefed. I don't want to play this game anymore until CIG solves the griefing issue. Oh my god." And by the way, I'm pretty sure that was also like the fastest turnaround time that you've ever done for making a video, Agents. I'm pretty sure you made that shit in less than 2 hours, or less than 12 hours, actually.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours at the most. It was a really rough cut though. The thing about it is though, is like this person had made this post, you know, it was about 2 paragraphs long, and the amount of fucking Care Bears that jumped on it and, you know, started complaining about griefers and telling, you know, saying that we need PvE only servers and all this other shit, you know, showing support to this person who, you know, had only written out 2 paragraphs complaining about being griefed. And then I dropped the video. You know, I made sure that, you know, I included the bloody OP in the an image of the OP, because I'd actually changed it afterwards. You know, after we dropped that video, and they changed their name. Fucking, it didn't help them at all. But yeah, like the amount of fucking Spectrum Care Bears that just jumped on that and just started, you know, bashing PvP and griefers straight away was, you know, mind-blowing. Even though this person did not present any evidence at all, they just said that it happened. And that's the main reason why I ended up making a video about it, because I saw that and I'm like, this is bullshit. Like, this person needs to be called out. It shouldn't be like that. Shouldn't be like that at all. Like, you know, but, you know, that vocal minority that this, you know, Buzzcut Psycho is referring to, you know, they're prevalent on Spectrum. And they will do that. They will jump on anything. And you would have seen it in the last couple of weeks. You know, the fucking bloody guys getting around Siege of Origin and going around killing other players. I was doing it a couple of nights ago. Some of them are being warned by CIG to stop doing it because they were doing it too much.
You guys gonna write "I got griefed by minors" posts? No, we don't make those, but I've honestly been tempted. I've honestly been tempted to making an "I got griefed by self-destruct" post or "I got griefed by bedloggers" post. It's like, you know, I'm just flying around, I'm fucking chilling, I'm fucking pirating players, I'm killing players, because that's what I enjoy, right? And you know, a couple of guys bedlogged on me because they don't want to do that. Honestly, they're denying me of my game loop, and I don't want to be griefed like that. I'm entitled to enjoy the game that I'm playing, and these other players, these griefers, are getting in the way of that. Let me kill you. Let me shoot you in the face, please. That'd be nice.
Anyway, let's finish this off. The PvE player is utterly incapable of punishing you himself by killing you or getting somebody else to do it for him, and instead opts to lobby for developers and by extension the game to do it for them. CIG has so far been very wise to ignore this vocal minority. I hope they continue to do so. With all that being said, I fully support a challenging PvE response to PvP players in the form of system authorities and eventually the UEE Navy itself. The key word here is challenging, something which can, through skill and numbers and organisation, be overcome, thus requiring the intervention of other PvP players.
I got catfished by a bedlogging miner. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck kind of message is that? What the fuck?
Oh man. Don't need to worry about miners anyway. With persistent entity streaming, it doesn't matter. They can't bedlog in combat anyway. All you gotta do is just shoot at them. Like, this needs way more upvotes. Like, this should be fucking, like, thousands, really. So if you haven't upvoted it, the link to the Spectrum post is right there. Show your support. But yeah, like, the thing about this is that there are more militant PvE players on Spectrum than there are PvP players in general. And when I say militant PvE players, I'm talking about the ones that do not want PvP in the game at all. As Oldmate has described here, they want the game to do it for them. Now, I'm okay with that as long as Buzzcut has pointed out here, as long as it can still be overcome, you know, and that you need other players to jump in to help. And honestly, I think that's the game that CIG's, you know, aiming for. But they do pay attention to feedback that they see on Spectrum, which is another reason why I do these, you know, reactions to Spectrum posts, even though they're not as fun to do as to videos. I'll go through these Spectrum posts because there needs to be more attention brought to just the state of Spectrum. And I know that there's quite a few people that don't like going to Spectrum. I can understand because it can be aggravating, but you don't need to sit there and engage in, you know, arguments or discussions with these people. You know, just react. Just react to them. Upvote the stuff that you like. You can't downvote. But Picard Palm, you know, fucking hanky emoji, all these things. If you don't like it, throw those there. They're the equivalent.
The baby bottle emoji is honestly one of my favorites. I love seeing that shit. It's so funny to me.
Yeah. Like, CIG wants to make Star Citizen a specific way. They want it to be a specific type of game. But they're not, you know, like, impervious to influence from a vocal minority. Because there are plenty of PvE players out there that aren't interested in PvP that are okay with PvP being in Star Citizen. And then there's a lot of players who don't sit on either side of the fence and they just play the game. They just want to play Star Citizen. And, you know, they may do a bit of PvP, they may do a bit of PvE. That's just them playing Star Citizen. And it's not a, you know, 100% focus on, you know, staying on one side of the fence or the other. And that's okay. Like, those are the majority of the people, but, you know, like, you're not going to see them getting into these Spectrum posts or, you know, like, getting into these discussions, because you'll see these fucking militant PvE players who are just there and they will be, you know, they upvote each other and they will skirt the rules of Spectrum posting. And I know you can tell that they're doing it if you read the rules of Spectrum and you see what they're doing. They'll skirt the rules as close as they can, which was different a few years ago. A few years ago, they'd outright break them. Then they would report you for breaking the rules when you responded. And you find a lot of PvP players don't fucking report these PvE, you know, militant PvE players for when they're breaking the rules because they don't see the need to.
You know, the comments on this post, they're griefing me already. God.
Like, I'm one of the few people in, you know, like, who've made a Spectrum post that's had it closed and then reopened later. Where it had a whole bunch of fucking, you know, Spectrum PvP going on with these militant PvE players coming in and just doing whatever they could to derail the topic and get it closed. And you see it happen over and over again in a lot of the posts, especially when good points are being made. And CIG has actually updated their Spectrum rules so that if they don't think that the conversation is, you know, going a way that they want it to, they'll just shut the entire post down. But here's the thing, is that the OP and a whole bunch of other people in that Spectrum post could be having a really good conversation, and because you got some bloody idiots there, you know, like going off on a random tangent, CIG can use that as a justification for closing that entire thread. And these militant PvE players know that. And they exploit it so much.
Funny, man. Super, super funny.
Like, Star Citizen is supposed to have a PvE majority in terms of content. Because they're going to have a simulation that's run by the AI. You know, it's mainly the AI doing the things and stuff. And, you know, the economy getting propped up. And we as players are kind of just there. The thing, you know, with what you see in a lot of these, you know, like Spectrum posts, like people are just disingenuous. Like, look, the highest upvoted thing here, we don't need PvP. Here's the thing, this is an opinion, but it contributes nothing. Like, this contributes nothing to the discussion at all. Now, if you reported this...
You can just feel... You can, like, chat, I want you to look at that. Those are 4 words right there, okay? 4 words. You can just... Am I the only one that can just feel, like, the upsetty spaghetti in that statement? Like, just look at it. I'm pretty sure, like... Think about it. I'm pretty sure, like, this was, like, here, this is the sound of, like, the impact on this dude's keyboard as he was typing it. It's like a meaty slap on the keyboard because he couldn't control his muscles. He's very angry, man.
Are you still there, Dobbs? It sounds like your microphone cut out. Is Guild just shitting itself? It's looking like it. Yep. Oh, Dobbs may have had shit. Dobbs has disappeared. I'm alone. I'm afraid. He spammed his keyboard that hard that he's logged himself out of Guilded. Yeah, probably. His sticky key's engaged and he can't turn it off, so he's got to reset. He's got to reset his PC now. Yeah, like, this particular comment here, it adds absolutely nothing to the discussion. It just, we don't need PvP. It's like, okay. You gonna elaborate on that? Like, that's just it. Also, try and upvote this to get it above the top voted comment, if you can. But as you go through this, like, you'll see, you know, specific PvE orientated players. I love this. You know, this bounty hunters and grim hex and, you know, like the pirates. This mental image that these, you know, fucking bounty hunters have about going to attack pirates at grim hex. But when you go through this, like, there's 725 replies, so I'm not going to go through all of it. But when you go through this particular, you know, post and you're reading through and you're seeing these, you know, like, responses and stuff like that, take the time to go and open up the Spectrum rules. You'll start seeing a pattern. Like, I'm still surprised that this post has been still up for as long as it has, because normally these get closed pretty quick. Dobbs has crashed his PC still. yeah, like upvote this. This needs way more upvotes. It'll be in the description of the video if you're watching later. If you haven't upvoted, do it. But yeah, like the responses that you see here, you'll see it in, you know, any sort of discussion about PvP. Like the militant PvE players just jump in there straight away. But yeah. Anyway, that's it for that one. I wanted to highlight that one. That was the one that I wanted to bring in here. I wanted to bring it in because I wanted to highlight it. You know, as I said before, this guy is dropping truth bombs like an A2 at Jumptown. So I wanted to support that. And this is one of those things where it's like, it needs to be called out more on Spectrum. You can't really do it on bloody Reddit because fucking they all just downvote you into oblivion, which is why I'm not a big fan of the way that the Reddit's set up. But yeah, it is what it is. And not so greedy. No, we need to wait for Dobbs for the next one because the next one is actually another Spectrum post. And this will get him closer. This will, you know, keep us moving closer towards the one that he actually wants to be there for. I'm not bothered about losing Reddit karma. I'm more worried that I spend time on writing something up and it just gets downvoted to the point where nobody sees it. Because most people don't sort by new, they sort by top. Yeah. Let's get ready to roll on to the next one. Ooh. Doobs.
I am back. So apparently, you want to know what just happened?
Yeah, go ahead.
So apparently, the power on my entire block just went out, and it came back on. So it took me a minute. It took me a minute for my internet to come back on. But yeah, I was in the middle of just my rant. I was chilling. I was having the time of my life, and then just screen's black. Screen's black. A draft came in. You know, like some. Yeah, God, it was kind of scary. Like it's as if the world went silent. It was kind of crazy. Guys. You ever been in that kind of situation?
Because we heard you spamming the key, we thought like you'd either crash gilded or like sticky keys got stuck or something like that and caused crash.
No, yeah. I'm pretty sure that sounded hilarious on the stream side, like from the stream's perspective. Like I was like just talking and all of a sudden I just was gone. But no, like my power just went. I'm fine though. Everything's great. I'm back, everyone. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Dobbs spammed Alt F4, kind of cool, yeah, probably. It's alright, viewership can go back up, you can message your friends, it's alright.
It actually went up when you left. Dobbs doesn't believe me. Wait, did his power drop? I was about to say, did your power cut out again? Because you're really quiet.
No. I'm fine. I think I'm chilling. Like it's still kind of, you know, like a little bit iffy, but you know, here we are.
Alex, the trick to doing Spectrum posts is to add videos and examples. Because I too have spent quite a long period of time on specific Spectrum posts. And sharing it around too helps. Alright, so the next one that we're reacting to, guys, we're going to move straight into the next one because I want to get this Spectrum post out of the way. So the next one that we're reacting to is about It's a bit of a... It's not too long, but yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. I haven't read through it, but the title should say it all. And Dobbs just dropped out again. Bye, Dobbs. Alright, we're going to have to keep pushing forward because Dobbs may be having power issues and there's not much we can do about that. So, the idea. Restricting PvP until the mechanics are in place to support it as intended. Please read all of this before commenting. Thank you. Alright. I've read enough. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna get straight into this. Oh my god. Yeah. Anyway. The threads of the past few days have explicitly shown that there is vocal support for PvP in this game from people wanting to play as pirates. What about bounty hunters? Do they not count? Or, you know, PMC, security, like, there's heaps of other people that want to do stuff. Welcome back, Dobbs.
Alright. Sorry, excuse me.
Dobbs.
Giving up.
Yeah, you're still there?
Yeah. What's up? Hello. Hi.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know what happened, but it sounded like you were cutting out again for a second.
It's fine. No, it's fine. Oh god, it's fine. I'm dying, guys. I'm dying. I'm dying. Help!
The music? I can't hear the music playing at the moment. Or else it'd be double procking through the PC. So yeah. Hey, Lever.
Levi, lost
so
face.
we're in the first sentence. Play as pirates, which is absolutely fine. Now with soft death of ships boarding, hopefully to be expanded soonish. And the ability to sell stolen cargo. Yeah. This can really take off in a manner that is meaningful in game. This person has never played Star Citizen before 3.18.
Never in his life.
Well, other than soft death, they describe things that are just, you know, take off in a manner that's meaningful in game. Okay. Unfortunately, under the guise of piracy, some people are advocating playing a PvP style that is only intent on killing as many other human players as possible without any in-game or inverse reasoning behind it. Basically, playing as psychopaths and random murderers for the lulz. This does not only cause problems in events explicitly designed as PvE, and which due to oversights in event design turn out to have certain exploitable areas made for mass killing and preventing people from taking part in the event as originally intended. They're talking about Siege of Orison right there. It also leads to a problem where, due to the current state of the game, the ability for non-PvP players to avoid combat situations is compromised. Siege of Orison is a combat mission, so it wouldn't matter if you're PvP or PvE. Like, you just wouldn't go to Siege of Orison.
I'm upset. Agents, help.
Is mass killing med rescues covered under this? Probably. Oh, here we go. Literally the next paragraph. Also on the rise is a behavior among some players where they enter a rescue beacon of a stranded player, then fly there only to kill the player completely and rob all their belongings. Or if you're Metroximus, you make them walk the plank or pay you the credits. Having quite some folks in the weeks of December. I don't know what goes on in the minds of people doing stuff like this, to be honest. In the future, we should have the possibility to choose our level of danger by the star systems we are choosing to fly to/work in. High risk, high reward can be a thing then. This can help with some of the problems mentioned above, but it is still a good time away. We need at least 30 to 50 systems for something like this to truly work and still offer meaningful gameplay choices to people. Still, this doesn't fix the abuse of the rescue beacon system by kill maniacs, the exploitation of PvE missions by similar people, like on Siege of Orison Entrance, or the random killing of players and or ships player ships currently doing other PvE missions. Oh god. This person doesn't know about salvaging though. It doesn't matter if you're on your ship, and it doesn't matter if you're on your way to go, do a PvE mission. You're legitimate salvage. You're just legitimate salvage. That's it. They don't need a reason. I just want to salvage a ship.
What
Maybe some of this could
possibly have to kill me?
Because I wanted to. And that's it.
Yes.
Maybe some of this could be changed by better design. Examples, Siege of Orison, if you get a crime stat, change your ingress point for the mission to the opposite side and put you on the side of the Nine-Tail platform defenders. That's okay. The mission could play like a WoW battleground. People crime stat against people without, but both sides with safe respawn ingress areas until the last objective is taken. No, people with crime stats would end up in prison and the fucking lawful players would just wake up in Orison and just start again.
These alternatives to fucking these briefers and PvPers, like it's not going to stop PvP. Not.
Yeah.
Like none of these proposed suggestions are going to stop PvP, man. It's kind of weird. Like if you're upset about being fucking camped at the fucking choke point at the shuttle, then you're also upset about any choke point in the history of games ever. That's just what happens. I talked about this last week, so I'm not going to talk about it again, but fucking Jesus Christ.
Other things are harder to fix, like people constantly abusing the system to ruin other people's play. Killing a large ship and the player inside robs that player of up to an hour of gameplay time while they wait for the ship to be reclaimed, get some gear again, can fly back to their target. And at the moment, when we only have Stanton, there is a certain chance that when they get back, the attacker will still be in the area and ruin the day for them again. You can only really salvage/mine at a few different places at the moment. Killing a large ship and the player inside robs that player of up to an hour of gameplay. Killing a large ship. Oh, so you mean like Piracy?
Yeah.
But I thought Piracy was okay. Like they said that at the start. Yeah, there you go. Support for PvP.
I hate piracy,
pirates.
and I don't think it should be. I hate piracy, and I think it should be restricted. But it's okay because I said piracy's fine in the beginning, right? Because I can point to that and say, look, I think piracy's fine, guys. Look, I said it up here. Look, I said it.
Yeah, sure. Peaceful gameplay loops in the game. Well, I don't know why they're listing this out. And they didn't even use the list feature either. Medical gameplay, player rescue, refueling, salvage, mining, cargo hauling, and bulk. As opposed to cargo hauling, not bulk. Delivery mission, scanning, searching for info, missing XYZ, missing person. Okay. PvE combat loops, or game loops. Bunker missions, all styles. Black Kite and similar personal missions, bounty hunting, site defend, old career. Basically similar to the bunker missions, several mission chains from different NPCs, Siege of Orison events. Nine-Tails Blockade with resource gathering, and then Idris killing, the event. Nine-Tails Blockade is a PvP event. Nine-Tails is a PvP event.
It was designed, yeah. It was designed specifically as a PvP event.
The problem with it, though, is that the PvE player, well, the lawful players can just respawn at the station, reclaim their ships, and keep going. The criminal players wake up in prison when they die. And they can't do anything about that. Like, you are significantly outnumbered. Although I am looking forward towards Nine Tails lockdown when fucking in 318, because the amount of medical supply runners that are going to be out there is going to be phenomenal. Okay, PvP combat game loops. Mission base. I can only think of the blockage scenario where you could support stations through resources or fight off attackers, while players with a crime stat could join the Nine Tails attackers. That's literally the Nine Tails blockade. Bounty hunter missions against other players with a crime stat for non-crime stat players. I think that's it for PvP at the moment, which also shows, in my opinion, that story-driven PvP that is encouraged and guided by the verse itself is not that much present at the moment, because it doesn't need to be. So what's left is free PvP, and again, the provisions meaning meaningful penal system, functioning NPC police presence, ability to minimize by choosing safer systems for this are not in place yet. The question now is to curb all the uprising in game, and here if PvP should be limited or removed until these systems are in place, and then allow for an experience as intended. A version of Arena Commander could offer a PvP experience on a level playing field, giving everyone the same ship with the same loadout for a fair fight, similar to other MMOs who have outsourced their PvP to these kinds of arena style fights. I do not have the impression though that the people crying for all and everywhere PvP are even remotely interested in a fair fight, but enjoy the slaughter of hapless individuals and gloat about how they didn't fight back, should get good, etc., at least according to some comments in the forums here. So again, I would suggest limiting / removing PvP in the game based on its current state, not indefinitely. PvP can and should be a part of the game if the mechanics are properly supported or in place, and maybe more missions and perhaps a faction to make it more interesting in the long run. And I hope that there will be a solution in the future that makes everybody happy and allows as many players with as many play styles as possible to play in the same verse in harmony.
How much you want to bet? Let's say theoretically, PvP does get restricted. He gets what he wants. How much you want to bet later down the line? He doesn't care if it gets reintroduced.
If it doesn't, 100%.
Yeah.
By the way, Picard Palm, Baby Bottle, that one. Yeah, Clown as well. Feel free to Picard Palm it as well. Like, this is not a solution that is designed to try and make everybody happy. This is a solution to make themselves happy. Them and their fucking little militant PvE crowd. That's pretty much what I'm just going to call them, like militant PvE fucking Care Bears.
That's what you are, man. Mm-hmm. Not shared the link. All right.
Actually, I did at the start. You just weren't paying attention.
It's fine, agents. Don't be fucking mad at them.
You got it?
Christ's sakes. Yes, I got it. I dropped the fucking link in chat. You can fucking relax. You can focus on being the host and the streamer, okay, the influencer. Fucking.
That's right.
Jesus.
PvP combat gameplay loops. Mission based. I can only think of the, like, this person just doesn't do PvP. Like, Piracy is a, you know, the first example of PvP gameplay that I can think of. But this is the other thing, is like, their form of gameplay is based purely on what CIG spoon feeds you. So unless CIG is creating the mission markers, any sort of like free PvP is bad. You know, like, why don't we do an Arena Commander version of fucking mining and salvaging?
First to salvage or wreck wins, dude.
No, they don't even need to do that. Like, there's no winning. They just make numbers go up. Like, the thing about this is, like, PvP experience on a level playing field. Like, this person only wants to do any sort of combat in a situation where it's always going to be fair. and that there's always a certainty. Like they don't want to engage in what they call free PvP because they don't like the uncertainty of the outcome. Like that's it. They want a safe space where there's no uncertainty for them because they can't handle that. Emergent gameplay is normally based around PvP. Normally. And the reason for that is that it's easy to generate emergent gameplay around PvP because it just happens. And part of the reason why a lot of people are attracted to emergent gameplay in the form of PvP is because of the level of uncertainty that it presents and the level of challenge that it presents. Like, this idea is just dumb. Star Citizen is actually not built to restrict PvP. Like, CIG has acknowledged that making the AI potent enough that you wouldn't need other players engaging you in combat would upset those PvE orientated players because they wouldn't be able to beat the AI. Now, they say that, yeah, I'm okay with, an AI beating me. Not every time. Guarantee it. If you don't like a player beating you, then I guarantee you that you lose to an AI enough times, you will complain about that too. Theaters of War. We should put that in gameplay suggestions. Or it's just mining gameplay loot. It's just mining. Just go collect the stuff, go land at the refinery, deposit it, make the numbers get bigger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Salty Mike's all about like emergent gameplay. Like he's an industrial based player. He acknowledges that PvP is necessary, especially in the end game.
And encourages it.
Yeah, he's not a fan of this type of mentality where PvE only players are just sitting there going, no, we need to remove PvP. It shouldn't be in this game. It's not ready for it yet. No, the game is fine. It's not the game's problem, it's yours. You are not ready for this game. That's it. That's what it all boils down to. This person just cannot handle the fact that PvP exists in this game, and it's going to go the way that they don't want it to. And they don't like that.
The other problem is that Star Citizen is an amazing game, despite all of its flaws and its bugs and its delays and everything. We're all here because we recognize that Star Citizen is an amazing game as it is, and CIG is on the frontier of game development, and they're quite possibly making the best game in all creation if they actually do manage to deliver on it. And these militant PvE players, they recognize this, right? They know just as well as everybody else does that this is possibly going to be the best game ever. It's fucking amazing. And they don't want to fucking give that up and go play fucking Animal Crossing or whatever other fucking games is in their Steam library, right? Whatever the fuck it is. So they're trying to bend it to exactly how they want. They basically want like either a single player large scale like universe, or they want like single PvE private servers. They want absolutely no problem. They basically just want to just sit there, relax it, and enjoy the fruits of all this labor without any sort of opposing player interaction. They want to change it to that instead of accepting it as what it is and what it's going to be. It's like, oh my god, this game is going to be great. I don't want to give this up because I hate PvP. I'm just going to change it to what I want.
Yeah, that's right, sir. Todd Pappy acknowledged that criminals will do what they want to do, even though we're not criminals in real life. Like,
Yeah,
you know,
the
it's a
Pappy, bro. the
career
Pappy.
path. It's a career path in Star Citizen. You're allowed to do it. So why would you not? Because you're not interested in it? Okay, cool. I'm not interested in mining gameplay. I'm not interested in mindlessly fucking farming bounties. You know, flying over to a ship, jumping to a quantum beacon, flying 10 kilometers to a ship, shooting it, watching it explode, and then rinse and repeat. That's fucking boring as batshit to me. I do not want to do that at all. And if I can avoid
Agens
doing
wants
that,
to
I
be-
will.
He wants to be punished by doing the most punishing game loop in the game.
I want to be challenged.
He wants to be challenged. He wants he wants to have the shit kicked out of him. He wants to be beaten to a fucking bloody pulp. That's what he wants.
Yes,
than
that's
anything.
exactly what I want. Beat the shit out of me. No, I want challenging gameplay so that I'm more invested in what's actually going on. You know, like, fucking, we don't have a lot of time on this planet, and if you're going to spend it playing a video game, then at least make it interesting. Like, I can understand people wanting to play a video game to relax, but if that's all you want to do, then there are plenty of video games that already exist that you can do that in. Like, this idea of restricting PvP until the mechanics are in place, like what mechanics? And, you know, support as intended in what way? Like, what? NPC security are actually able to do their job? How far? Like, do they just become invincible fucking super cops that just laser you down the moment you have a crime stat? Probably not. COG is probably not going to want that. I don't understand where they got this metric that you need, you know, 30 to 50 systems for something like this, you know, for PvP to actually work. I don't understand that. Maybe they're talking about server meshing, but even then, like, players will congregate. Players are going to congregate in specific systems because those specific systems will have specific resources or services or, you know, access to manufactured goods that they're going to want. So it won't matter that there's 30 to 50 systems, they'll still congregate around the same 5. Then what? Oh, well, because they're all congregating around the same 5, and the AI security is pretty much super cops that just laser you down if you do something wrong. The Care Bears get their fucking little PV safe space. That's okay. If it's like no risk, there should be next to no reward there as well. You know, they're sitting there going, oh, you know, like I can haul cargo. And it's like, yeah, you're fucking hauling feathers for bloody pillows. And bloody everybody's doing the same thing, so the price of feathers is fuck all. You know, you can't do mining in the system because it was strip mined, you know, by all the corporations. And whatever resources are left, you're going to have to pay taxes on it. Right. Removing PvP from Star Citizen is just essentially removing a portion of the community. That's what it is. Now they're saying restricting PvP. It's not restricting. They're removing it from the persistent universe. That's what they want. They want PvP out of the persistent universe. And it's not going to, you know, one, CIG is just not going to do it, but two, it doesn't achieve what this person wants anyway.
I know
Because
Chris
if you
Charles
take-
will never do this, but I really hope one day he just gets up and just shuts these people up. I really do. I really do, genuinely, sincerely. I know he thinks about it. When he's down on his bedside, when he's praying, he low-key hopes that these people just go away.
Yeah, SimCity has risk. You can also increase the taxes too much, and then everybody gets upset and riots or leaves town.
No. See, it's fine because it's AI, right? And then fucking AI is fine because they're just following their programming, right? There's no actual intent or malice behind what they're doing because it's a fucking robot. And that means it's okay. That means it's okay, agents.
Yeah, because computers don't have feelings. But yeah, like, suggested removing PvP in the game based on its current state. Well, cool. You know what will happen? The only way that you could really do that is by making it so that players can't damage each other. But then players would work out other ways to, to grief you. Because that's what this is. This is a veiled griefing complaint. Getting griefed, I don't like it, remove PvP so it stops happening. That's not what's going to happen.
Oh my god, griefing. I don't
That's
like
not how
griefing.
it works at all. In fact, if you want to be more empowered, get rid of all the comma rays. Make it a fucking free-for-all. You will be more empowered in that sense. Because that's what a lot of these people are complaining about, like, oh, I don't, there's people, griefing at Siege of Orison. Can't shoot first. I can't kill them. I have to wait until they fucking, end up getting, the crime stat. And I don't know if they got a crime stat or not. They don't want to take the risk. This is an elite fucking mentality, a player that came from Elite Dangerous, refugee.
Agents, I'm upset. I want to move on. Agents, I don't like this anymore.
Let's see what they have to say in the comments. Let's sort by the top comments.
Oh, oh my god.
Hold up. There is two types of people in SC. Those who have read what they have bought, those who didn't. PvP is supposed to happen everywhere. It's not the case. We can't kill in capitals for now. Here are your restrictions. NPCs won't make any difference. People prefer make posts like yours and not learn the game. Want to limit PvP and don't want to learn. After 7 years of PU, people still doesn't notice red in radar, still react way too late, and still doesn't know how to flare torps, even if they're bugged now, but can still be flared at 100%, but nobody does it properly. So no, we don't need to limit PvP. We need people to understand what product they bought and learn how they could avoid death, because yeah, unless there is a mantis involved, you can avoid 100% PvP death. I'm scared because if you didn't learn that in 7 years, when will you? Like, and then he goes into it, just ends up going into stories. I don't know what this I don't understand what this PEX is. You know what old mate means by this P period EX period? For example, okay. Prime example. What? Yeah, and killing players in PvP, and then prime example telling them how you could kill them so easily and what they could do better. 100% perfectly okay. What? He doesn't like getting told get good? Get good's not good enough? Anyway.
I do not condone exploiting weaknesses. I
I think that's enough of this one. Like, fucking Care Bear complaining about PvP, getting griefed, wants to remove PvP. To be honest, I think this was during the height of that fucking wave of anti-PvP rhetoric, and to be honest, this just seems like it was a another post thrown into the mix just for somebody to try and push their agenda for shits and giggles, to see what sort of rise that they could get out of those who actually still do PvP and engage on Spectrum.
Everyone in this stream is now dumber for having read it, and I am. Maybe that's the point. Maybe that's the plan. Maybe they're just
make us all dumber.
Maybe they're just trying to lower our IQ collectively by reading stupid as shit posts like that.
These got upvoted. These got upvoted though. Like, this was upvoted. The viewers voted for this. They went to our public server and voted for it.
Well, maybe you guys are just trying to make me suffer, and you know what? I don't appreciate that. Like, I'm hungry, I'm tired, I need to get to work later. And you're making me look at this shit? Oh my god.
For those who aren't aware yet, we do have a public Guilded server that you can all come to. There is a link to it there.
Yes,
it's also in the description of this video.
Squad. Please join the Mongrel Squad public server. We have lots of good times over there, lots of good chats and interaction. And the more of you guys that join, the more cool stuff can happen over there. So please join the Mongrel Squad YouTube channel. While you're at it, leave us a subscription here on the YouTube channel, like the video, share it with your friends, and maybe sometime soon we can get to 10,000 subscribers. Thoughts on that, chat? I think we can do it.
I'm pretty confident we're going to hit 10k soon. But yeah, like, jump onto that server, guys. There's channels there for you to provide suggestions on content for us to react to. And just before the reaction stream happens, we'll ask you guys to vote.
Like I'm telling you, as soon as we hit 10,000 subscribers, I'm fucking retiring.
Well, Dobbs is retiring, I'm not. I'll keep going. He's already picking out his plot of land.
Yeah, I'll be on Pyro 4, and I'll build my house in that biome with all the that canyon with all the fucking clouds and mist and the circular rocks and shit. That's where I'll be. See you guys there. Send you a postcard and shit. Whatever. I don't know. Fucking whatever.
Dobbs, I just sent you the link.
Wait.
I think it's time that we moved on. I sent you the link in all comms.
Oh no, please. No. Oh no. Oh,
did somebody
right.
just...
I gotta set up for the...
Hold up. Did somebody just come to the chat late and they're still catching up on the Mantis stuff? We're like 2 hours beyond that now. Mr. Skippy, thank you very much for the sub.
This man wants me to retire early. I see how it is. Thank you for your sub.
Alright, so we're now going into the videos, and this is going to be interesting.
I want you to start it from the very beginning, like the very beginning.
It's fucking sync tube, so that's like an impossibility.
For 5 seconds in, I just want, like, I want to soak all of this in.
It's like nothing happens for the first 5 seconds.
We start from zero. What does he say in the first 5 seconds? I want to know. Like,
nothing gets said. Anyway, the next bit of content, that we're going to be reacting to comes from a friend of the channel. Not really, like, he never actually spoke, but he's the reason why this entire thing started. Really, his post, his video about the A2 and Jumptown kickstarted the reaction stream.
I'm already getting mad. I can already feel it building up inside me. Oh god.
Dobbs is just working himself up into a frenzy. I should probably link the video for you guys who may want to watch it later. Where is the fucking link? I'm on the wrong server group. Reaction topics. Where is it? There we go. I'll link it in the chat there for you all. There it is right there. You can watch it here though. But if you're not watching it live, you can watch it later on that link. And it is from good old Morphologist.
If he says what I hope he doesn't say, I am going to, oh boy, I am going to rip into him so fast and hard. Holy shit.
Thank you very much for the super chat there, Easy Tune. Easy Tune. Now, I've seen the Twitter short for this, and it fucking got me, and Dobbs found the video. Now, I'm pretty confident that the Twitter short came from this video. Now, we're going to watch this. Now, he said this is the most fun that he's had in Star Citizen. And I'm pretty sure that it is. I'm going to tell you now, the shit that he's going to do in this video from the short that I watched, we've fucking been doing for years. Which is why it's triggering.
Here, I can actually...
Okay, Dobbs. I'm starting from the start. Did it update?
We're still at 5 seconds. I don't know. Maybe if you play it, I don't know.
I'm going to play.
It won't open. Just to
I don't think we need that.
Blew himself up with a grenade! he blew himself up with a grenade!
He's like, you'll never take me alive!
He did!
What?
I wanted to give myself a death of an honorable death. I wanted an honorable death. I wanted an honorable death.
What the fuck, dude?
Pathetic.
You will not take me alive.
No, he won't. Executed. Who is this guy?
Beautifully,
So last night, a bunch of content creators, Salty Mike, Avenger1, Space Tomato, Burks, and I all hopped into a stream together. It was kind of an off-the-cuff, unexpected collaboration that turned out to be one of the most fun things I can remember doing in Star Citizen for a very long time. Quick synopsis is that we all went over to Security Post Correa, which, if you don't know, in 3.18 is going to be the only place that criminals can clear their crime stat without going to prison, and so it's a hot spot for PvP. Not only that, there's also an NPC boss that if you kill, drops a code that you can use to unlock a confiscated contraband locker, which is worth literally hundreds of thousands of AUEC, so it's kind of like a mini jump town to go make money doing. We decided to go there and take a mission to clear out some pirates, and then we ended up becoming pirates ourselves, which just led to just non-stop shenanigans.
Is he going to show what they did and not talk about it?
A highlight reel of that stream. If you guys want to see more stuff like this live though, you can head on over to my Twitch channel at twitch.tv/morphologist to catch more of the stuff as it happens. And of course, if you want to see more content like this, let me know down.
They became pirates.
We're fucking 2 minutes in. We've seen like 30 seconds of where he boarded a ship and the target blew himself up. And then he spends the next minute and a half talking. And it's a 9-minute video. Like, I want to see the action. I don't want to fucking listen to him telling me how it happened.
Down in the comment section below, or otherwise just hit the bell icon and subscribe so you can be notified the next time I post a video like this. Anyway, I'll shut up now so you can enjoy the video.
Thank you, Morph.
Should have done that 1 minute ago.
That was not one of us, right?
That's not one of us in there.
Okay.
Oh, stop being
Okay,
picky.
he's just outside the door. He's waiting for us.
Oh, run through it. I'll just run.
Down.
Just run.
Who is he?
What are they doing? Are they the
Wet
criminals in this one?
So loot him.
No.
He's got
No, they're not.
some salvage stuff. He's got whatever you need inside, and then I'll take him out.
Backpack in the blue in the middle. Is that a security or is that a... That's not one of us, right?
That's the boss.
Okay.
Shoot him.
He's finished.
There you go. He's very tanky.
Yeah, apparently so. 8534.
You see me?
Yeah.
This is where you input the data,
Okay, I see. Yep.
and then you say retrieve evidence, and then we go to the other side over here.
Why, hello there, evidence locker. Can't I just tractor beam this out though? Totally can.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You just have to grab the box.
You
first.
used to. Yeah, you used to have to grab it.
Ow.
You okay?
Come on, Ice Teas.
Yep, alright.
I see another ship. It's a
love that.
Corsair.
Well, that not.
That's definitely not an NPC.
No.
That might be the person who was yelling at us when we first
Well,
got
this is an
here.
interesting box.
Okay.
Never seen this one
So
before.
I'll stay out above. Coming in, yeah.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm in an eclipse.
Tossing some boxes your
Okay.
way. Put them in the back.
Sounds good.
Right here.
Okay.
I know this all too well.
Is that a dead body in here?
Yes. That's my
Interesting traversal method.
I just
See
went
that,
back in.
agents?
Are you below it?
Ran back in. I'm above.
No, I was just looking at a fucking wall for a minute.
Come on. Gotta cut him some slack.
PC. Fuck.
Wait, you... Why'd the guard shoot you?
Because I'm trespassing.
Oh.
Wow, he's not going
Go
down.
around.
Why is this
He's
taking
down.
so long to kill one person?
He's down.
Nice.
Oh, I got an award for killing him?
Who is this? Is this one of you? Yellow
It's me.
armor?
Yeah, that's me.
Let me... I'll take your med gun.
I got him.
Alright, I seem to be missing context here. He just got 25k for killing someone. Was that person that he killed one of the people responsible for taking SBK? Because when you look at the top of his the HUD, you see that
Thank you.
he's supposed to be
All right, yeah.
urgent. Retake security post Korea. Targets remaining 1 of 8.
Yeah, so I think he's doing like the lawful side, like he's doing the response mission for when players take over the fucking outpost. But then again,
But he killed
he
the
was-
fucking. They killed the security
Yeah.
chief.
no, no, I was circling back to that. You're right.
The fuck is going on? Like, they're going through and pretty much killing all the security there. Like, is this how you do that mission? I haven't bothered with security post Korea since fucking ETF. Alright, it's bugged? Alright, let's just keep watching, like...
What we'll do is let's put the bodies in PC ship of all the people we own him. I wish we had a railgun.
I've got a Redeemer. Oh, do you want to hop in the Redeemer with me? You can go kill him.
Yes.
Get in the Deemer. Let's go! In the Deemer.
I'll join you for that.
I need
Thank
2
you for the
gunners.
sub there, Charmed
There's
in this.
another one. Oh no, that's just a from the station.
Let me know when you're inside, guys.
Currently having
really
a
great,
real
great.
weird
All
interaction.
right, we're getting shot at. We're getting shot at.
All right, yeah, fly.
Are you in?
Oh, I couldn't get in.
I'm in.
You guys should go ahead.
He's around the other side of the station now.
Jeez.
Where is he?
Oh no. Is that my nomad?
Light him up.
Order anyone?
Freelancer dirt.
Oh, okay, maybe I'm targeting.
Pass is
a
not
offset.
moving. For
His
some reason.
TVI is scaring me. His TVI is scaring me.
So... he doesn't have a crime stat, but there's no comrade either. So as Greedy pointed out, killing every player there gives him 25k, so that must be the bug. Okay.
Execute.
Okay, they're fighting a player right there.
Look for the soft. Oh, go, stop.
That's it.
All right, he's soft death. Let's board him. Let's go!
Oh my god, guys, yeah, let's go!
Oh my god. How excited you get now about that, bro?
Dude!
It's a 325, eh?
He might have disconnected. I think he disconnected.
I think he just disconnected.
He disconnected. Yeah. Oh, but don't bump him. We can take his body.
I'm merging.
Brave.
Got it. Yep.
Brave.
Yep. And there's the merge. We got it.
Wait a minute.
They're in a hammerhead.
Agents. Wait a minute. I know who that is. I know who that is. Hang on a second.
Hold up.
You recognize that name, Agents?
Looks familiar. Let me check the fucking list. I don't see the name on the list anymore.
Yeah, because he was cut.
Fucking former prospect.
Kind of. I hit some, not all. There we go.
Yeah, he's gonna die. There's no way he's surviving this.
Oh yeah, you fighting a hammerhead.
You killed him.
Omega Prophecy coming in on us.
That's why he was
7.1.
Hornet. 12 o'clock. Tag number 1.
Hornet 12.
Got it. Stand by.
Where are they?
Omega
Where are all you guys?
6K out. Watch the soft death.
That's a lot of freaking hits landing.
He's gonna pop.
Ready for it?
It's gonna destroy. It's gonna be destroyed with all that
Damn,
firepower.
It's taking a lot of firepower.
It's too much DPS.
Wow.
What is he even shooting at though?
No, stop.
Okay, at least it's
fantastic.
They had good discipline there.
All right,
They
look, get close to him as quick as you can so we can see if they try to get out of the ship, because you know they will.
Yeah. T-Bruce thick.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Come out of there, boy, with your hands up.
What did he say? Oh god.
It's bringing him cold.
Show us your hands.
They're gonna bring him in cold.
Thanks. We can kill you.
Not with that kind of rhetoric.
He's dead.
Good game, buddy.
You guys good?
You got me. I'm in cap though.
I got you.
My feet got caught on the ladder because I couldn't actually climb it.
Good
what a
fight,
breach, boys. What a
Good game.
breach.
Fucking.
Holy. Okay.
That was awesome.
So guys, the orange drugs are worth a lot.
How much?
14k per unit.
Wow.
That was it?
What?
That's not bad.
I guess
Who the
that was
fuck
it,
said
yeah.
this was good? Shit.
To be honest, I thought he was gonna say some shit like, "Oh, guys, boarding is finally in the game now."
No,
Because
he
if
says
said
that in
some
his
shit-
fucking Twitter post. And he uses the clip from his buddy, you know, the start where
Oh yeah, that's
it's the
where it
bounty
ca-
hunting
Oh yeah,
thing.
that's where it came
where
from.
it is.
Yeah. Fucking boarding is finally in the game now, guys. You know what? You and I are. Everyone here is going to take a little bit of a chat down or a stroll down memory lane here. Okay, I'm going to show you guys a couple of things. Okay. Posted July 5th, 2020. 3.9. Here's a link. We boarded a fucking caterpillar. And like most of the examples I'm about to provide here, this isn't just walking on a ship when its ramp is down in Armistice Zone. This is actually like chasing a ship, disabling it, stopping it, boarding it, and capturing. Okay, this was September 20th, 2020, 3:10. We fucking we stomped and we boarded a multi-crew fucking carrick. This was actually when we hit Salty Mike. Fucking September 27th, 2020, we uploaded a video where we boarded a cat on the ground when it was at TNM. Let's see, fucking October 4th, 2020, 3:10, we stomped and boarded a fucking caterpillar on Ariel. Let's see, what else do we have? Yeah, 3:11, this is another boarding of a caterpillar on Ariel. Pretty cool, kind of cool stuff. Let's see, what is this? November 24th, 2020. Yeah, November 4th, 2020, another caterpillar boarding on Ariel. Looks like, yeah, okay, now, December 1st, 2020, boarding a fucking cutlass on Ariel. What about this? Oh, here's an MSR boarding from 3:11. Yeah, cool. What about, oh, how about a mole? You guys ever boarding moles? Yeah, how about you board a mole in 3:12? We uploaded February 16th, 2021. Kind of cool, right? Yeah. Yeah, here's another one. Here's us boarding a fucking cutlass doing rock mining on Ariel. We chased it up into atmosphere and boarded it. Yeah, boarding's finally in the game now, guys, as per morphologists. It's pretty cool. Listen to this. Oh, yeah, here's another mole boarding. Mole boarding that was posted 3/13, May 9th, 2021. Let's see, another Twitter post. The Twitter post is great. Yeah, friends like these, 3/13, July 13th, 2021, boarding a caterpillar coming out of our Lagrange point.
I'm just not interrupting Dobbs because he's actually linking videos where we've done boarding actions.
Let's see this. Let's see, a rare gem. This is 3:15, where we stomped a freelancer and boarded it on Aberdeen. Let's see, 3:15, December 21st, 2021. We boarded a C2 going out of atmosphere on Ariel. This next one big prize, April 15th, 2022, where we boarded a, let's see, what is this? Boarded a freelancer that had 4 million worth of drugs on it. Here's another caterpillar boarding on Ariel. Let's see, here's us boarding a rock on fucking Aberdeen. Here's another rock, here's another caterpillar boarding on Yella. Here's another caterpillar boarding on Yella. I'm just gonna keep going with these. This is midair boarding. This is the most popular video on our channel where we stomped and boarded a fucking carrick when it was on the move. Here's a boarding of a Cutlass Black on Daymar when it was rock mining. Pretty cool. This was one of the more recent ones. They fought back, multi-crew C2 that we boarded. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, fucking Death Metal stomped and boarded an MSR as well. Full speed. Oh yeah, another C2 boarding at fucking Ariel. Let's see, the last one here. Oh yeah, and this was the they fought back one, multiple one on here. Yeah, but no, yeah, boarding is finally in the game, guys. As from what Morphologist said in this tweet, you know, boarding's finally in the game now because of that video. That's right. So yeah, thanks for but feel free to watch any of those videos and
this is less about morphologists. This is less about morphologists and more about the mentality that you see amongst a lot of the community. In that, unless they get fucking told by CIG, it doesn't exist. Now, Dobbs linking all those videos going all the way back to 2020, demonstrating what it took to actually, you know, conduct shipboardings, shows that you could actually do shipboardings for a long time. The thing is, though, is that, you know, it's not until they introduced soft death that people are going, oh, this is actually a thing now, because they had to be fucking spoon-fed the solution. Now, I just didn't like that video because it was boring. Like, it partially confusing because it jumped to different parts. It didn't make much sense what was going on. He does this huge intro about, you know, what they're doing, but then the video that they show doesn't really show much in terms of the combat. Like, they took drugs from the bloody box that's in the middle there. It doesn't show why they're not getting crime stats when I thought that they would be, considering that they're at security post Korea killing the AI there. I would expect that to happen. You got paid for killing somebody.
not trying to knock on Morphologist for enjoying the game, right? He's actually finally beginning to see what we enjoy and what we find fun about the game, you know. So it's like the notion that like the problem isn't that, you know, people saying, oh, boarding is finally in the game now. It's like people are only saying that because the barrier of entry has been lowered to their level to where they can do it easily now. Now it's like, oh wow, boarding is actually really easy, so now it's actually in the games where most people can do it. That's what's happening here, is that with soft death, boarding ships has been made infinitely easier, as opposed to actually taking the time to coordinate with EMPs to disable it multiple times over until it finally stops or gets slow enough to board it. You know, we've been doing that for years, as my little, you know, sequence proved. And yeah, like that's pretty much what it is. It's not that boarding is finally in the game, is that the skill ceiling has been lowered to a level where you can actually do it now.
No, where more people can do it. You could always do shipboardings. It just required more effort. Like, as you can see, they used a hammerhead, they soft deathed a fucking Redeemer, and then 2 of them got out to do the shipboarding. That's great, you know. Like, shipboardings are going to happen more now. That's great. The problem, though, is that people are, you know, saying, hey, this is new. This is, you know, like, we can finally do this. And it's like, no. Like, you guys are sitting there saying that it's a flex. Imagine being the group that's been fucking pioneering this for years. And then, you know, fucking somebody that just comes trundling along that's been fucking, you know, essentially doing other shit to fucking draw, you know, like the crowds in to pay attention to them. And then they go, oh, I can now do this thing. The thing that we've been doing for years. And then they go, oh, it's just finally in. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I'd be pretty fucking pissed. And I am. It's fucked. It's bullshit. Like, at no stage should, like, I ever be expected to take this fucking line down from anyone. Like, we have worked our asses off to bloody make Piracy gameplay, to push it out into the limelight. Boarding gameplay, to push it out as far as we can. And the thing about this is like, we've been showing how it's done for years. And I don't care that it was Morphologist that made this video, because he's not the only content creator that's saying, oh yeah, it's finally in. You know, you can finally do this. He's not the only one. What pisses me off the most about this is that CIG keeps propping these guys up and going, yeah, like, this is new. You can do this, you know, like, when they're saying this, when we've been doing it for years, we've been showing them. We know CIG's aware of it. We know that for a fact. And these people who have these large followings showing people and going, yeah, this is new. It's like, we're just sitting there going, no, it's not. You've been able to do this for years. We've been trying to push this message out. There is more to Star Citizen than meets the eye.
It's not even the fact that like the video was bad. Like the video was just fine. Like what happened in the video is something that we just do every day. Like, you know, like I'm really glad he enjoyed it, because it's like, yeah, cool. It's like, now you understand like why we're doing what we're doing. Like, yeah, it's the most fun you had in Star Citizen. Yeah, of course, it's fucking fun. That's why we do it. That's literally why we've been pushing these videos out, is to show people like, this is like the most fun that you can do in this game. But to turn around and say like, yeah, boarding actions can now be done in this game and you couldn't do it before, or, you know, or it's now like supported by CIG and whatnot. It's like, no, that's just wrong.
It's fucking bullshit. That's what it is. Like, I know that we're fucking more well known amongst content creator circles out there. I know that. Now, I don't expect them to, you know, like fucking, you know, get on their knees and start sucking our dicks because we've been doing shipboardings for so long. But don't fucking lie. Alright? Don't fucking lie. It's bullshit. Because it's not only me that's been doing this for years, it's a whole bunch of other people. And the thing is that we won't ever get the same people watching us as what watch Morph. So when he starts showing that stuff, it's all looking new and, you know, great. Reason, and like Dobbs is saying, the video's okay. I think it's shit. I don't like it. It fucking jumps between too much stuff. That entire event for those, you know, content creators went for hours. And he broke it down to something that's less than 10 minutes. And if those are the highlights, that would have been boring as fuck. You get more excitement out of our piracy hits.
Yeah, way more excitement.
And CIG supports these guys more and more.
You get more excitement from flying around from outpost to outpost for 3 hours, finding nothing. That's what real excitement is.
Yeah, like, but the other side of this is like, this has been possible for years. These guys could have been doing it, you know, during the same time frame as us. Too hard for them. No imagination. You know, would rather fucking focus on, you know, the thing that buddy will draw in the crowds as opposed to, you know, showing what the game's actually capable of. It just fucking blinkers on, and as soon as something new pops up, and as I said before, like, they need to be spoon-fed their shit. You know, fucking getting spoon-fed this shit, and it's like, it's frustrating because we've got stuff showing for years that this was always possible. Required time and effort, but you could always do that shit.
It's more on that too. It's like, I'm really interested in seeing equivalents to like what we're doing, like true sandbox stuff where we conjured our method of like boarding ships back then. We conjured out of nothing. We used what we had available to us. It's like, okay, we need something to prevent it from having quantum travel. It's like, okay, we got QED. Okay, we need something to disable the ships. We need to, okay, we have EMP. All right, we need something to be able to keep it permanently disabled. Like, how much distortion, how much EMPs are we gonna need? Okay, this much. Okay, now we're gonna need a boarding team. It's like, all right, cool. What kind of kit do we need? Blah, blah, this, that, and the other thing. It's like, we had so many tools at our disposal, and we used it to create this method that worked, and it worked consistently over years, right? And when I see other people use that same sort of creativity and imagination to create these game loops in the absence of support by CIG, that's really the magnificent stuff that you'll find in this game. More than the stuff that's like, you know, officially supported or whatnot. It's the stuff that the players can do. That's what's really cool about it. Like, you know, creating gameplay, whether that be medical stuff, whether that be, you know, artificial, you know, like base building, or like whatever the fuck it is. Like, I think like that's the really good stuff. Like that is what I think deserves more of a spotlight than anything else.
Yeah, like the conversation that's going on in chat about, you know, the bar for piracy being lowered. It has been, you know, it's mainly shipboardings that's been lowered, and it needs to be lowered.
In the grand scheme of things, like, piracy is still pretty fucking hard. Like, what's been made easier is disabling and boarding ships specifically. Okay, it's not like when we say the barrier of entry is lower, we're not talking about like general flight combat, we're not talking about the logistics, we're not talking about like the actual FPS and shit combat that you have to do. We're talking about actually like disabling and boarding ships. That's been lowered to where, okay, now everyone can do it. Everything else remains what it was, and in some cases it's actually been made harder with the new updates to the law system and with how crime stats work and all that shit. So that's what we mean when we're talking about the barrier of entry being lowered. It's about disabling ships.
Yeah, and it needs to be lowered before it can be, you know, raised again. Primarily because mechanics need to change. Distortion damage needs, you know, a rework. We need master modes in. We need physicalized armor, and there's probably other stuff that CIG have planned that they haven't mentioned to us yet. A whole range of things that need to happen around combat. Now, we had trained ourselves for years to be able to perform shipboardings when other people are sitting there going, you can't do it, or it's too hard. And now we're going into 3.18. One of my concerns is that we're going to get bored because the part that we really want to engage in, which is, you know, the chase, the disabling, the boarding, that part is now the fastest part of the entire hit. Now we've got to move all the cargo off. And as we're experiencing, it's like, we're spending more time moving cargo. And people are like, all right, well, you know, negotiate with the target. They're not going to negotiate. That's the thing. They're not going to negotiate. I also want to go through the process, taking all the cargo off and loading them onto ships. Coming up with faster methods of doing it, which we're going through, and we're coming up with solutions to this stuff now. It's been interesting, but at the same time, like, this is, you know, something that we're experiencing that no other profession is going to have to deal with. You know, like, people are like, oh, you know, cargo haulers aren't going to want to manually load that cargo. The cargo timers are going to, you know, are coming eventually, and they'll be able to hire NPCs. It's like, pirates won't get that.
Yeah, pirates don't have that luxury, guys.
What we experience now, we're probably going to be experiencing until you can hire NPCs and they're intelligent enough to follow orders. Which means that when we capture a ship, we're going to be moving the cargo by hand. We are already loading ships
ahead of everybody else.
by hand. We're already loading ships by hand. That's a pirate's
gig. Yep.
That's where we're at. And we're experiencing the suck of it. And we're going, all right, well, you know, what's a better way of doing this? You know, how can we make this, you know, shit task easier for ourselves? How do we make this shit task, you know, go faster? And we're coming up with methods.
Look at React. Look at React. So many boxes. He's got PTSD now, man.
He's fucking,
all the box moving.
He's wigging out in his chair right now. If I can shake him back.
He's never going to leave his cockpit again. But you know what? At some point, I'm going to make you. Because you're going to have to do it. You're going to have to do it. I'm sorry. Everyone's going to have to do it.
Yeah. That's why we have prospects. We need more prospects. Yeah, like, to see, you know, content creators making these claims, and it's like, you know, this is bullshit. You've been able to do this for ages. It may be new to you, but that doesn't mean it's new to the game. And CIG also, you know, supporting them and, you know, propping them up, because the only reason why I saw Morphologist's tweet was because CIG, Star Citizen, retweeted it. I don't follow Morphologist on Twitter. Follow Star Citizen, and that's where I saw it. And that's frustrating, because it's like, are you fucking serious? Whenever we put out a Piracy Ops video, put it on bloody Twitter as well. Like, we post it there, a link to it, where we're showing shipboardings. We don't get no fucking retweets.
Star Citizen Twitter is anti-PvP.
We've been showing gameplay. We've been showing gameplay for years. More engaging gameplay. The type of stuff that people really fucking want to engage in. But, yeah. It is what it is. At the end of the day, we'll keep pushing forward. We'll keep posting those videos. And I saw somebody ask about when's our next Piracy Ops video going out. We're really not going to be posting any Piracy Ops videos until 3.18 goes live. We do get some hits in 3.17.5, but like, I could link you a video from 2 years ago and show you that and say, this is how the hit went. Like, it's gotten to that point with our library that the hits are just repeating themselves. So, you know, it's like, until they're a lot more interesting as well, we'll be very selective with our Piracy Ops videos that go out. To be honest, like, all those videos that Dobbs linked, I'm going to put them in a playlist and just have them as shipboardings and start any ships that do have, or any of our videos that do have shipboardings in them, tag them as such.
Yeah. Yeah, just fucking spam it. Like, hey, here's a playlist going back 3 fucking years of doing shipboardings. But it's fine, guys. Shipboarding is finally in the game for 3.18.
Throws
That's the
more people
takeaway.
off than it attracts. I can tell you this now, Andreas. That people will come and play Star Citizen regardless of what the other content is. We already see it. People have accused us of, you know, like, you're going to make players run away. You know, people aren't going to want to play Star Citizen because they see us doing piracy. It's like, pretty sure that's not the case. Pretty sure they're still going to buy in because they'll see the thing that they want to do and then they'll investigate. And if as soon as they get any sort of hint that, you know, like there'll be some sort of protection for them, they'll be like, yep, that's the game I want. Shipboardings are easier in soft death. The only dynamic that changed is the fact that you don't have gravity. But it's EVA, so you just work around it. Alright, I think that's enough ranting there. I want to make this clear. It's not that I don't hate on morphologists. What I don't like is content creators that have large followings that make claims that are false. That's what I don't like. You can sit there and say he's not an influencer all he wants. If you got a fucking large following, even us to a certain degree could be considered an influencer because we have people following us. You know, they follow what we do, what we say. When you're in that sort of position and you have that sort of crowd, they're going to hang off what you say. And if you tell them that something is, you know, new or it's in, they will take that as fact. That is gospel to them. And when there's a content creator out there who's been doing that thing that you're trying to say is new for fucking years, I don't care if you thought it was viable or not, you're a fucking liar. Plain and simple. And I will call people out for that. I don't care how many fucking followers they are. I don't care what position they hold. You're lying, I'll call you out for it. Alright, let's move on.
What's this next one? Oh yeah. I forgot about this one.
We're going to move on to the next video, guys. It's the last video for the stream before we make a big announcement.
Be sure to drop a like on the stream, share it with a friend, and hit that subscribe and notification bell so you never miss out on another piece of Mongrel Squad content. How'd I do? Was that nice? I feel like that was pretty good.
So this next video comes from a former member? Yeah, he was a member. He's one of the War Brothers. Moved on to Chaos Squad. And it's a video of him doing Piracy in 3.18. It's a vulture hit. He's in chat. Hello, War Dog.
Where's Sari? Is Sari in chat? I think Sari, I think you might enjoy this one.
Alright, let's watch this. They're playing for you, Dobbs?
Yeah. Wow, what a logo. Wow, what a logo.
Hey, Chaos Squad. Alright, we gotta read this. Chaos Squad mate Easy Gunner and I hunted a vulture at Lagrange Station. After letting him salvage for a while, we move into soft death board and relieve the target of his cargo. Unfortunately, my mic was muted in the recording software during the session, so you will only hear Easy's perspective. I know those feels, man. I know those feels.
What is Easy gonna sound so familiar? Some of my prospects want to enlighten me. Is there some kind of fucking gang
Some mongrel tactics really paid off. This is some mongrel work.
No, he didn't have a mask. He suffocated.
What?
Oh,
Did you hear
what
that?
a fucking... Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Hold up, I need to read this. This was a boring high-speed fight that resulted in the target eventually disengaging and then running into something that sent him into a spin.
What the fuck?
Show it.
What the fuck? Why? What the fuck? This is a video. What the fuck? This is like so...
The warlock is also engaging as well. Okay, your priest has lost his... There you go. You go on.
There we go. Thank you for that. Thank you very much.
Day.
Well, everyone, I think we know what happens to Mongrel Squad prospects that get pirated.
It happens. But I don't know why you weren't wearing a helmet. So, this is a good example. There's a lot of learning points from this. And I'm going to say this. I shouldn't... The JOs should have already told you this, but I'm going to say it anyway. Don't do the PvE stuff in the areas where we hunt for fucking targets. And the reason why I say PvE stuff is like, I know people like to do mining. Now it's going to be salvaging. Now, when it comes to being a pirate, we teach you these things. We teach you where to hunt for targets. So if you get pirated in those locations doing the activities that our prey does, after you've been taught where to hunt for targets, and you're there doing the exact same thing as our prey, there's not really much more that we can say. You know, like, it's a learning point, Joe. Like, learn from your mistakes. Don't do it again. Because as you can see, you will end up on video. One and one? I think so too. Because it was the hit that we did on Waka. Well, no. We took the target from underneath you guys. And you guys hit a prospect of ours. It's a...
The score's 1-1. I mean...
I'm glad you guys did, though. It's a fucking spanking. Like, guy deserves it. As far as I'm concerned, don't fucking... Like, I'm trying not to get worked up over this. Don't do what our fucking prey does. It's as simple as that. If we teach you where to hunt. If we teach you where to hunt for targets, don't fucking go there and do this thing that our targets are doing.
Some prospects
it's not going to work out the way. Does the PTU count? It doesn't matter at this point.
Is it 1-1? Is it 1-1 though? Because that our prospect was just salvaging when you guys were. And I think what was it? It was a rock hit that we took from. I mean, well, you know what? Fuck it. You know, I'm not even gonna think about it. Yeah, it's 1-1.
Yeah,
we'll do it. It's 1-1.
There's no need to go into the semantics. Like, they had a prospect of ours. You know, we competed for a prize and we got it, and they didn't.
I just wanted to know, like, yeah, whatever.
At the end of the day, like, you know, he was on the receiving end of a piracy hit. It's a learning learning point.
I think we could put it that way. Hunting for chaos season open now. I mean, literally, it's always been like that.
Yeah, like in the game,
no group or entity is exempt from getting pirated by us. Like, if we find you, we'll pirate you. That's pretty much it. That's the same way that it's the same way that Dirty feels about us. Like, if they find us doing shit, like, they'll fucking come after us.
Yeah, like, as you can see in the video. Like,
yeah, fucking whatever.
Inside the game, it's, you know, we're playing the game. Outside the game, it's all, you know, cordial. But that's kind of the, you know, thing there. Like, prospects, you know, like, it's a learning point. Pirates are going to do it to you. Like, we can just be as... Fucking, that screen is bright as fuck. We can be just as much a victim of other pirates as, you know, other people can be victims to us when it comes to piracy gameplay. To think otherwise is asinine. Now... Like, it doesn't matter about the helmet side of things. Like, fucking bugs happen. He got caught. He shouldn't have been fucking doing salvaging at a Lagrange point like that. Go out into the... It's the fucking Aaron Halo. Like, we know how hard it is to find ships there.
To be honest, that might have happened at a time where, like... Remember the bug in the PTU where items equipped to your actor were not registering quickly enough? Like, where if you put on your helmet, if you highlight over it, it would be gray. So I think, you know, for all we know, dude could have taken a drink, put his helmet back on, wasn't actually on, and then as soon as the ship got bricked, he fucking died.
I've had that as well. Like, but that's not the point. Like, they didn't win because he didn't have his helmet on. They found him in a fucking Lagrange point. Like,
Yeah, I'm not arguing that.
Like, the other points are irrelevant. You know, you're in a vulture. It's not designed for combat. It's designed for salvaging. You're not going to win a fight against pirates, especially, you know, 2 showing up.
Mongrel Squad made
Just
me a
don't
better
do it there.
PvEer. I mean, yeah, true.
Yeah, like we're like that for everyone that joins us. We're supposed to be. I don't know.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good hit. It was good boarding action. I mean, I could tell, like, a lot of stuff stuck from when you trained with us. I was like, okay, does that. We did that, yeah, right. Corners, all that good stuff. Yeah, man, solid stuff.
Hmm. The range set? No, it's not. Like, not paying attention to your radar, like, is one thing, but it can only take, like, it doesn't take that long to close distance in that sort of setting.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing as mining next to an outpost. Like, the further from the outpost that you go, the better off you'll be. And the same thing applies to the Grange points. Like, if you're sitting like 50 kilometers from the Grange point or within that, you're going to get caught always. But if you go out a ways and if you actually take the time to actually, you know, do that, then you're more likely to be just fine.
That's right.
And that's what it comes down to.
That's it. Like, it's easier, like, the closer that you stay to the point, it's easier to find somebody, because ships light up when they're pinged further away. You know, even in those, you know, salvage debris fields, you're still going to pick up on ships before you'll pick up on debris. And you'll do so at further distances. And there's 2 of them there. So they're covering more ground. Like, we hunt in teams for a reason. And we'll go to places and we'll spread out and we'll all be scanning it and looking. And as soon as one of us picks up on something, we, you know, hone in on it. That's what happened in this video. That's why, like, don't do salvaging at a fucking Lagrange point. It doesn't matter if you think, oh yeah, like, if I just pay attention to my radar. No, because if the pirates know what they're doing, they will hit you before you realize that they're there. I know this because this is what we do. And we've done it to miners countless times. It's not going to be any different for salvagers. But yeah. Learning point. I'd say spin the wheel on that one. If he hasn't already. I'd say spin the wheel. Let the wheel decide. The retraining.
Yeah.
Anyway.
About that.
Doesn't need to be spoken about on stream. Anyway, what we're going to do is... That's it. That was the last bit of content that we're reacting to. Dobbs, do you know what this means?
Oh yeah, we do have an announcement, right? We have something to say. We have something to...
An announcement.
We have something to announce.
And it's relevant to the public server as well. And I'm going to be furiously changing a whole bunch of stuff around on the public server in a couple of minutes, but I have an announcement to make. So excuse the blinding white light on my face. I've gotten shinier.
Oh, Agens,
hold up.
Perhaps after this. React sent me something apparently that he is requesting us to react to, apparently. It's the C2 hit that sparked the recent discussion.
Which one?
You know, the one where they spent a few hours.
Oh, has that been edited, or is it just clips of it?
No, it's like, I'm pretty sure React, he just sent me like his unlisted POV. No?
Yeah. Prefer to review it before we show it. Anyway, so
I mean, I can review it while you do your thing, and then
yeah. If you want to do that, and then we can look at how we can cut it down.
What are the things that you're looking out for? Just like OPSEC stuff?
Kind of, but also like length. You know, what's actually happening, because if it's just stacking boxes, we don't really need to show 2 hours of that.
No. Yeah, he basically just cut the actual hit itself on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Chase.
That's cool. All right. Yeah. All right. The announcement. Fucking Dobbs and I having a completely separate conversation of what's going on. So I have an announcement to make. Is this? I've pulled up the wrong one. This was the one that I actually wanted to read out. All right, here we go. Excuse my eyes for looking down and not at the camera. I'm reading from a script so I don't go off topic. Many observations have been made with regards to community members wanting to join Mongrel Squad but not do Piracy, or they want to provide services for Mongrel Squad but don't have the structure or backing that other orgs do, or just don't have the time, knowledge or skill to join, and I wanted to address this. I also want to expand our reach and bring more people into the environment that we have created over the years. However, I'm not willing to compromise Mongrel Squad's requirements to achieve this. Thus, I would like to announce that Mongrel Squad is expanding by creating 3 new sister organizations, which in turn creates an alliance called the Mongrel Corps. The Mongrel Corps' mission is to establish itself as a dominant criminal force within the Star Citizen universe by creating a network of organizations that support each other across the spectrum of capabilities necessary to assert dominance over any area that it occupies. It is a self-sufficient ecosystem that umbrellas Mongrel Squad and several other orgs. Its purpose is to ensure that we never lack allies, so we're not at the mercy of our adversaries with missing capabilities when we need them. It consists of specialist organizations that support each other with Mongrel Squad at the center as its piracy organization and primary combat arm. I'll now introduce you to all our 3 new sister orgs. Now, my plan was to actually put this into a video and be actually showing this, but I just didn't have the time to do it today. So I'm going to be describing them to you. What I'll do is I'll actually get the links for these orgs out for you guys as well. Get the links prepared right now. Okay, so the first is the Mongrel Auxiliaries, and I'm going to link them in chat. The Mongrel Auxiliaries are the auxiliary combat force for the Mongrel Corps and reserve force for Mongrel Squad. As a casual organization, the auxiliaries provide an alternative for players who are interested in piracy gameplay but may lack the necessary knowledge, skill, or time commitment that we expect of Mongrel Squad members. The auxiliaries are poised to provide support for piracy and combat operations with battle-ready players when required. Outside of joint operations, the auxiliaries run events that facilitate a more casual approach to piracy in Star Citizen. Alright, next is Stellar Packrat Logistics. Stellar Packrat Logistics is a lawful logistic organization dedicated to providing efficient and reliable logistical services for the Mongrel Corps. It focuses on providing support services by engaging in cargo hauling, vehicle repair, medical search and rescue, equipment resupply, vehicle refueling, surveying, salvaging, and any other further activities that entail the necessity of logistical support. And the last one, last but not least, The Murex Cartel. The Murex Cartel operates on the unlawful side of the Star Citizen universe and focuses on a profit-first approach by engaging in merit trading, contraband smuggling, drug trafficking, transporting, buying, and selling of stolen or illegal goods, and bookmaking on racing events. Now, this is all in game, it's not in real life, just in case somebody fucking watching this that has no context of what's going on. That's all in the game Star Citizen, not in real life. I feel like I need to say that, just in case. All 3 sister organizations are now open for recruitment. The links to the org pages are in the description of this video, or they're going to be in a moment, and are on our public guilded server, which is also linked in the video description. Since they still have that new car smell, the orgs will take a bit of time to get up and running. I already have some admins to help with getting the ball rolling in each of the orgs, processing applications and running some in-game events. However, it's going to be a bit slow to start with, especially since we're opening these orgs up during a patch transition, and not all time zones have admins and officers to help run things. But that just means that there's opportunities for new players to do more and pursue the gameplay they're looking for within an environment that encourages inter-org gameplay. These 3 new orgs, along with Mongrel Squad, help solidify the foundation of the Mongrel Corps and provide the capabilities needed to establish itself as a dominant criminal force within the Star Citizen universe. Look forward to seeing new faces in our new orgs as we pursue our new goal. Alright, so that's the Mongrel Corps right there. What I'm going to quickly do is just move some channels and stuff around. You guys have the links there. If you're interested, feel free to sign up for those. Tide, it's really up to you, mate. Like, if you feel like you got what it takes to join Mongrel Squad, give it a crack. If not, you can always withdraw your application and try one of the other organizations. It's up to you, mate.
The auxiliary, let's go.
I had this planned out in my head. Alright, so I need to move stuff along. Mongrel Squad information. Mongrel Squad information. And this. This one needs to be physically moved.
Which of the new orgs has a heavy focus on fucking roleplay? I don't fucking know, dude. That's probably up to whoever the admins are.
It's actually not the new orgs that has the heavy focus on roleplay. It's Mongrel Squad now.
Yeah. Why would you say such a thing, Agens? You're literally...
Because I know that it's going to trigger you. That's why.
You pissed me off.
That's what I was looking for. That's what I wanted. I wanted that reaction right there. Alright, for those who are on our public server, guys, if you have a look in the Mongrel Squad information forums, you will see 2 new posts there by myself. Announcing the establishment of the Mongrel Corps and how do I join X org in the Mongrel Corps, gives you the instructions there. And there's also a new channel called the Mongrel Corps Recruitment channel that I need to make available to everyone. So you should be able to read. Making sure everybody can read it.
Yes, I want to let you know, I'm still the guy that decides whether or not you stay here. So I just want you to keep in mind when you say shit like that.
All right. So yeah, everybody on the server should be able to see it now. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, cool.
Where
excellent. So it's just under the general channels. So the public Mongrel Squad group on the public Mongrel Squad server now has a new channel underneath general chat called Mongrel Corps Recruitment. You can go through that channel. I've got bots set up. Is it actually there?
Really
no, it's
quick.
Not.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, if the bot is the bot's online in this channel, so the reactions actually work, right?
Making sure that it's actually showing up when it should.
I can provide a little test really quick, just to be clear.
Bot should be able to see it, but I'm not seeing the bot in the list. I may need to refresh Gilded for it to work. Oh no, there it is. I see it. I found it. It's there. Alright, so yeah, the reaction should work for that.
That's admin bot, yeah?
Yep. Admin bot. Dome, you're right to start accepting applications straight away. So if you're interested, go check it out first, guys. You know, like, I understand that there's people that follow us that are interested in being part of, you know, like what we do. The reality is, though, is that we as a piracy organization, I have a specific way that I want Mongrel Squad to go. And we put a lot of time and effort into developing our members, and when it comes to the other professions and activities, when I thought about it more, like introducing somebody who only wanted to do industrial gameplay directly into Mongrel Squad, who didn't want to do piracy, went against what I was trying to achieve with Mongrel Squad. In Mongrel Squad, everybody is a pirate first. That's, if you're joining us in Mongrel Squad, that's what you want to do. You're not there to try it, you're there to do it. You're not there to do, you know, like it on the side. It's the thing that you want to do. But I also know that we need industrial gameplay or industrial players. We need, you know, like other people to help support what we're doing. And a way of, you know, like, I wouldn't say getting around it, but a way of being able to develop the capability that we need is to create organizations that facilitate, you know, specific gameplay and give purpose, so that everybody who is a part of that group understands what that group is about and what their goals are.
Maybe we should provide descriptions for these orgs in this channel.
That's actually in the Mongrel Squad recruitment, or correction, the Mongrel Squad information channel. What I'll do is link to it.
Oh, I don't know where that is.
I'm gonna update the recruitment message, Dobbs.
I'm just trying to make it easy for those that are joining the server, okay, guys? I wanted to be clear. I'm looking out for you guys, okay?
Sorry, I'm doing Gilded stuff while I'm on stream. So, oh, there we go.
You know what, agents? While you do that, I'll talk to chat. Guys, seriously, let's be clear here. Who watched the most recent episode of The Last of Us? Okay, no spoilers, but I'm just gonna say it. Pretty damn good. And I'll say it. I'll say it too. End of the episode, kind of made me cry a little bit. The waterworks were starting up a little bit. I mean, just being honest. It was kind of beautiful. Oh my god. God damn it! I love a good story. Yeah, no spoilers, guys. No spoilers. Avert your eyes for those that have not seen it. Avert your eyes from the chat. You want to know what I'm doing, React? Since like you've never played the game, like I also haven't played the game. But one thing that I'm doing is like whenever a new episode comes out, and like I have a video on YouTube that has like the entire playthrough of part 1. So pretty much what I'm doing is that I'll watch the episode. Like, for instance, like when I watched episode 1, the moment when episode 1 ended, I went to that playthrough and I kind of watched all the way up until episode 1 ends in the game. So it's sort of like I'm kind of watching them both as the first time, and I'm sort of seeing the changes and differences and similarities in both mediums of the story. So it's kind of cool to be seeing like both of them at the same time, and also like seeing what's different about them. So I think that's really, it's one of the things that I'm doing personally that I think is really cool. Like, not saying it'll be equally as cool or fun for those that have also watched or played the games or watched the shows or whatever, but I'm enjoying it immensely.
I'm waiting until they're all out, and then I'm just going to binge watch them in one hit. I've never played the Last of Us game either, but like my dad, he's in his early 60s, and he fucking loves the Last of Us game on, I think it was PS4.
Yeah.
It's PS3 or PS4. I can't remember which one he's got.
It came out in 2013, so whatever the prevalent console was at that time.
He was trying to convince me to play it, and I'm like, I don't own a PlayStation PC Master Race, but yeah, it's one of the few games that he like has played through multiple times and finished multiple times. He loved the story and everything about it. So for me, it's like, if my dad likes it and he's not a big gamer, I'm pretty confident that it's going to be a pretty good show. Well, I hope it's a good show. But I want to wait until they're all out so I can just watch it in one hit, because I really don't feel like going through what I'm doing with Star Wars shows at the moment, where I'm watching an episode a week. That's painful.
Oh God.
Rather just binge watch it all in one hit.
I don't think watching it from week to week is that bad.
It's terrible.
Honest.
It's archaic. It's an archaic method of watching TV shows, and it should be banned.
I don't think it's that bad.
No, you're wrong. Literally wrong.
I mean, I'm not. Whatever, dude.
Your opinion is terrible. I don't care if it's an
Thank
opinion.
you. It's an opinion. Thank you. It's an opinion.
Velma.
Oh,
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Do not bring up that show in this chat. That is a fucking curse against mankind. The people that fucking made that show should be fucking ashamed of themselves. Holy shit. Fucking Velma is so bad. It's so bad, dude.
Like, I didn't even bother watching the new Halo series. There were some things in the Halo series that were actually true to the books, but there are other things that, like, you know, Master Chief taking his helmet off as often as he did doesn't even fit the description of the Master Chief. But one of the things that was true to the books was how fast the Spartans were running. You know, like they were running as fast as warthogs driving. Like, that's actually in the books.
Also, Agents, I have the clip of the hit.
Oh, yes.
Thanks for
But
streaming.
I am waiting for the Mandalorian. Whereabouts you got it?
DMs. It's no, no, it's not Sync 2, but you can just watch it. I've already seen it, so it's fine.
Okay. This is going to open up in a different link, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I did. Alright, link. I'll pause straight away. It's out into its own window. Alright, you're going to see a blank screen there, and I'm going to make this.
Yeah, so for context, one of our members just sent in a quickly split together clip of a piracy hit in the PTU, where they found a fully laden C2 with laranite and titanium on Ariel, And the following video is from the perspective of our QED pilot. And he showed up to the hit extremely late.
Damaged by the looks of it.
Also damaged, yeah, because he got missile spammed from a previous hit and he had no time to repair. So he was fighting torque imbalances the entire time. So
with a crime stat, a bounty level crime stat at that. In Comaray range. All the things that you don't want to be showing up in a piracy hit as we have right here. So let's see how this goes. They got the hit, so I'm pretty confident. It's Hazard, is it? Is it Hazard? I can't see the name.
React. This is React.
Right. Well then I know he's gonna make it through.
QD come back.
Okay, I got a repair on the way, by the way.
He's actually landing. We're fucking red here. What is he doing?
Don't worry about repairing. Just come back.
Okay, well I'm spinning out of control. Is that?
More than anything.
Well, I just jumped, but I mean the flying ammo is not going to be much easier.
Ty, your crime stat free, right?
Me? No, I'm clear.
You have a blue or mantis.
I have a mantis. I can go get it.
I'll try. Yeah, I'm coming.
It's 195 layer night now. That's a tick trick.
Oh, he's back on board. He's back on board.
All right. Well, React.
React just
607 SCU.
Hanging out in dead space. Yeah, he's about to jump in.
You gotta remember, my flight is fucked.
Yeah, we know.
Oh yeah, he's full of layer night.
React, please.
There he goes. He's moving. He's moving.
React is just arriving. I'm 30 kilometers.
He's lifting straight up. I'm engaging. I can't catch up to his boost.
Get that dampener on. Get in range. Start pulling up. Merge. There he is.
I'm trying.
Oh. We got him. He's pulling out that merge now.
2 kilometers. Almost there.
Push.
Oman. Catch him there.
Come on.
No. I'm almost in.
You're gonna get him.
I think we got him.
I'm in.
You got him.
Stay there. Yep.
Nice.
Reloading.
Nice.
Soft death. Do it.
Do it. Hurry.
Are they gonna do this in atmosphere? Or is it gonna push up into space? Because I've already got a shield quadrant down.
How the fuck are you holding this steady, dude?
I don't know. I'm not even shooting. I'm just trying to hold it steady.
Due to the speed at which he's traveling.
It's better for us, guys.
Oh, I'm spinning out.
No, fuck it.
Alright.
Just do it.
Just blow it.
If that C2 does like any sort of evasive maneuvers, he's fucked.
How good is that? How good is that sun?
There we go.
Soft death.
There we go. Soft death.
Good.
Bricked.
Where'd he go?
Man, that's the end of the clip. That's fuck yeah, dude. Yeah, but what? After that, the C2 ended up drifting out of atmosphere, so they were able to get on the ship, move all the boxes, and all that.
I thought Ariel's atmosphere ceiling was 30 kilometers.
Yeah, like it drifts out. Like it was going max speed.
Drifted that far? Jesus.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for the super chat there, Tide. There's a button to celebrate? What's going on? No, it's not a button. It's not like Twitch. Thank you for the super chat, mate. How crazy was that merge, though? Fucking pulled it in. Yeah, Greedy's right. The reason why they managed to soft death that ship in that time frame was because React started spinning. That was the trick.
I'm pretty sure there was a Scorpius, right? The Scorpius was the main DPS machine in that fight. And that hit. Just fucking pummeled that thing. Did you guys have ADBs on that? Or NDBs?
Barry's got the VOD of 2.5 hour box loading. I'll do a sleep stream with that running in the background. I'll just go to sleep while you guys watch that.
Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it right there.
I'm looking forward to doing Piracy in 318 when it goes live. Like, we're doing hits in 318 during PTU, but it's more along the lines of testing now. Piracy in 318 will mainly be box moving, correct. 100% that. Psychologist asks, we'll do a little bit of Q&A for the Mongrel Corps now.
Mongrel Corps, let's go.
Just wondering, as a new player, will there be recruitment into the main org from the sister orgs as player skill and knowledge improves? Yes, but that'll be entirely up to how you're feeling, plus based on observations from the application and interview that you do.
Yeah, so pretty much the way it works is that, you know, am I allowed to say this with scouting? I don't know.
So yeah, the Mongrel Auxiliaries is also a potential recruitment pool that we could draw from, but this is one of those situations where we still won't invite people. You'll just be told, hey, you should put an application in.
Yeah, it's also going to be used really nicely as a and it's a recruitment ground, it's a recruitment pool, it's a training ground, training area where like new players or lesser skilled or experienced players can build up that experience, establish rapport with the org and its officers, and then if they have the time that they can put in to be part of Mongrel Squad, then they can talk to their admins in the Augs org, which can then be translated to the to Mongrel Squad, and then the whole process can run its course there.
Yeah. So that said, though, like, just focus on what you want to do in whatever sister org that you end up joining. Like, if you're really focused on piracy gameplay, the auxiliaries are the way to go to start off with. That said, though, you won't be trained at the same type of level as what Mongrel Squad members are trained at or prospects are trained at. It's just you'll be in an environment where it's a bit conducive to newer players, whereas in Mongrel Squad you're expected to be at a certain level before you've joined. Stoney asks, how is 318 now any closer to release? No, we're still in wave 1. Does anybody else have any other questions about the Mongrel Corps concept behind it, why we're doing it? I'm pretty sure I explained that part. The other thing as well is that some people may apply for Mongrel Squad and you might not make it through the application. If the interviewing officer thinks that, you know, you might have potential later on down the track, they'll recommend you join the Mongrel Auxiliaries. The members from Mongrel Squad join one of the sister orgs. Yes, but you need to keep in mind that you maintain the exclusivity of Mongrel Squad. So, main account, exclusive to Mongrel Squad. If you have an alt, just join one of the sister orgs. You can join any of them on the alt. We have our first auxiliary member.
Who that be? By the way, agents, why is the Mongrel Squad information in the Mongrel Squad content category?
Where is it?
Mongrel Squad information. It's in the Mongrel Squad content category.
It's a good question. Probably because I did not.
You should probably move it. You should probably move it like below recruitment or below general chat or something.
Or I just changed the name of the category.
Yeah, but you have all the content related channels in there. Why not just move it?
Because I just want to keep it in one spot.
What difference does it make?
It makes all the difference. I'm just being resistant to your idea, Dobbs.
It's like,
there,
oh,
are you
geez.
happy now? I've moved it for you.
Look, this is helping with your intent, okay? I didn't have to fucking make the suggestion.
It's okay, Dobbs. I've done what you said. You can stop bossing me around now. If a prospect is failed out of Mongrel Squad, can they then join a sister org? Depends on how badly they fail out. All the circumstances that they leave or are removed.
Yeah, usually if it's a time issue or a skill issue or an experience issue, more often than not they'll be referred to one of the other orgs in the Corps, but if they leave on bad terms, for example, then they will likely not be welcomed back
They
at
are
all.
banished. Roma asks, you guys do ops / training nightly. That's up to the admins, the frequency of their ops and training. Current admins are also Mongrel Squad members as well, so they have obligations to Mongrel Squad that they still need to fulfill, so it probably won't be nightly. Just be aware though, like, these organizations are going to grow over time. There will become, people who join these organizations, there'll be select members who will want to step up. They'll be given the opportunities to step up and lead and help administer those orgs. And that
also, just to be
will,
clear,
in turn, increase frequency of events.
Just because events may not happen on a nightly occurrence, that shouldn't stop members of the org to get together and play anyways. Because that's what happens in Mongrel Squad. Even though there are some days where events aren't happening, but people still jump up at comms and do piracy and train anyways. So we hope that kind of culture and activity extends over to the other orgs. So
yeah, and there'll be times where Mongrel Squad members will jump in just to drop in, do some piracy with a pickup group, shoot the shit, pass on some knowledge, some experience. I plan on jumping in there every now and again. There won't be formal training in the same sense of what you would experience in Mongrel Squad though, so it won't be training for an hour where you're learning how to do QED dampening, though we'll probably show you, once or twice or explain to you the concept, and one of us will be flying the Mantis and get one of you guys to also fly another Mantis, and you guys just copy what we do. The focus is less on developing the auxiliaries to the same level as Mongrel Squad, because the fact of the matter is that if you want the same skills as what we've got in Mongrel Squad, join Mongrel Squad. The auxiliaries are the casual organization. They're the reserve forces.
yeah, they're not.
Not sure.
Did you already say that they're not exclusive as well?
Yeah, so the sister orgs are not exclusive.
Yeah. So you can
actually be a member in all of them.
You can still be a member of your own orgs, for example. You can, whatever orgs that you're already in. If you have friends that you play with, you can still play with them, and you could still apply to join any of the sister orgs in Mongrel Squad. The exclusivity only applies to Mongrel Squad. I need to go to the bathroom.
Notch was asking, with the removal of bunker crime stat removal in 318, do you consider removal at Klesher at the end of a game session to be more efficient than removal of crime stat at SPK? Yeah. Just go to Klesher. Just get yourself sent to Klesher. Clearing your crime stat at SPK is supposed to be technically faster because the hacking now works faster, but Just go to Klesher at the end of the session. Until CIG addresses that, that's always going to be the more efficient way. Unless you got a group, and then you can do it as a group. For 318, the plan is not to do any sort of extortion or ransom gameplay. It's just to focus on taking cargo. Part of the reason for that is that it's payback for all the times that the majority of the community has decided, who knew that we couldn't take their stuff from them and just fucking combat logged out. The other side of it is actually to test the game loops. So going through the entire process of unloading a ship, loading it onto a cargo ship, then going to the outpost to sell. There's an entire process there that still needs to be tested, so we'll be doing that as well. Will we be going back to extortion or ransom based gameplay in the future? Maybe. It really depends. What I would hope to see is that CIG introduces a level of nuance based on the security level of systems, where you engage in different types of piracy based on the risks that you're taking. Leo, the lion. Sorry, I got something in my throat. Thank you very much for the sub, and Chroma. And I think I said charmedness. Like, for 318, I'm saying red flag ops. We'll see how we're going after that.
Oh god, this again.
No, they're just asking. Like, at the end of the day, we're always going to try and pursue the level of piracy that's most efficient. We may end up, like, in the future going extortion with certain targets and, red flag with others. But for 318, it's red flag regardless of who it is. Dagoth Shrimp. Is Mongrel an open org or any sister org open? I literally just announced, like, all orgs are recruiting. Mongrel Squad, you have to go through an application process and an interview. The sister orgs are a bit looser than that. Put your application in, be verified by an officer.
I have a question, Agens.
What's your question, Doobs?
Why are they sisters?
I don't know. It was a term coined by somebody, one of the JOs coined that term, and it just kind of stuck. I just went, yeah, that makes sense.
Ah, cool. Just curious.
Yeah. Does it bother you, Dobbs? Would you prefer that they're brothers? The brother orgs. Doesn't really roll off the tongue that well.
Yeah, you're right.
What would be the ideal ship for fencing cargo? Ships that are capable of carrying cargo?
Yeah.
Like, that's the first answer that I give. No, it depends on the quantity, really. How many people you've got available, whether or not you can get back to the site. Based on our most recent experience, we're going to be experimenting with using different cargo ships. It was our original plan of just using a C2 to throw it all into one ship. It was great until, like, you actually had to transfer it from a C2 to another C2, and then it sucked. And then we found some other issues, and to do with outpost tick rates, where you sell stolen laranite and stuff at. Having to overcome those issues. So realistically, going for medium haulers multiple medium haulers is probably going to be the better option if you've got a team large enough where you can keep people at the side of the hit, load one of the medium haulers up, send it away to go sell, and then start loading up the next one. We're still in the testing phase for which ship would be good for that. And that's just a concept at the moment as well. We're still going to do more testing. But yeah, like most recent experience doing it on a target that was quite large, it was just counterintuitive to what we're trying to achieve.
Agent, I think the admins are turning this into a numbers competition. Which org has the highest number?
Oh, I already know. They're putting bets down for it.
Oh yeah, dude. Fucking is so ridiculous already.
Alright. It is 4:45 in the morning for me. I only just noticed then. I'll take, if there's any more questions about the Mongrel Corps or the orgs in it, feel free to throw them into the chat. If I don't see any questions there in the next like 2 minutes, I'll be ending the stream. Michael Bragel says, me and my team are going more for the extortion, and if they don't pay, soft death and salvage more profits, in my opinion. Good luck with that. I'll be interested to know how you go, man. Our experience over the year of 2022 was that if they could get away with doing combat logging, they would. Combat logging's been addressed for 318, so I know a lot of the haulers and industrialists aren't interested in paying us anything, and will do anything that they can to ensure that we don't get maximum profit. So expect to see a lot of ships self-destructing, but you know, like, you're still going to make a profit from it. But for us, we're going to be focusing on red flag ops, going for the going for 100% from the get-go.
I mean, I'm interested to see if they actually comply with paying for even more than what their investment is worth, because that's really how you'll turn a profit from more of a profit from it.
Spain, on the public Mongrel Squad server, head there. There's a channel called Mongrel Corps Recruitment and a forums called Mongrel Squad Information. Just everything that you need to know is there. Restrictions for applying after an application denied from Mongrel Squad itself. Because we've only announced the Mongrel Corps and the sister orgs, we're not really worried about restricting anything like that. For failed, well, I wouldn't say failed, but for applications that don't make it through for Mongrel Squad, if the officer thinks you have the potential, they'll recommend that you join one of the sister orgs. If you're coming to join Mongrel Squad, it's going to be the auxiliaries. If they don't think you're going to make it in the auxiliaries, which is a pretty fucking low bar to start off with, if they don't think you're going to make it in there, they won't recommend it. So you'll more than likely get redirected there a lot. Iden, thank you very much for the sub, mate. Appreciate it. And bringing us closer to that 10,000 sub goal.
And my retirement.
Stubbs has already got his plot of land picked out. I'm not too concerned about CIG reviewing griefing.
There's already been mass reports coming in, people griefing. It's like people haven't gotten banned, except for like extreme cases.
Aqua Polaris asks, will you protect your cargo holders from other pirates or send a scout ahead in order to sell stolen material? That is literally how you do that. But yeah, like, of course we're going to protect our cargo. We fought hard to steal that cargo. We're not going to let somebody else steal it from us. I'm currently in the process of writing up a special episode of the MPA as well. It'll seem counterintuitive for what we do, but because of physicalized cargo, it makes sense that we make this video. All right, I'm gonna call it a night now, guys. I want to thank you all for coming along for the stream. It was quite a long one. It was a good one though. Therapeutic. How did you find it, Dobbs? Even with your technical difficulties, did you find it therapeutic? Did you get the stuff off your chest that you wanted to get off?
Not really. No.
No.
At least that means I could try again next week.
Yeah. Well, you know, like all I can say is get fucked then. We'll try and find something else bad that Morphologist has done so you can bash on that. Will that make you happy?
It's not even more fun. No, it's not. Like, I don't dislike Morphologists.
I know.
I think it's great.
It just seems to be becoming a theme that this channel just bashes on him. I don't understand why, 100% why it just happens.
It's just that video accompanied by the tweet was just silly.
Yeah.
Very, very silly.
All right. But yeah, that's it for the stream. I'm hoping that it will be the same time next week. It seems to be a recurring pattern. The next Mongrel Corps will be happening on the, I think it was the 19th or the 20th? 19th. Well, actually, it's the 18th for you guys. It's the 19th for me because I live in the future. Next Mongrel Corps will be on the 18th of February. That's the third Saturday for this month. Still tracking down the guests for it, as well as working out the topic, which is probably more important before I get guests. But depending on how things are going with 318, it may be more related to piracy. If 318 isn't live by then I guess I'll just find some content creators and we can all bash on why, you know, CIG's been slow. The Mongrel Corps is now has been announced. We've got 3 more organizations that fall under the umbrella of the Mongrel Corps that you can join if you're more casually inclined to be playing Star Citizen, as well as performing other, you know, types of gameplay. Highly encourage you guys to check it out. I'll be adding those links to the description of this video if you're watching it after the stream has stopped being live. Thank you all very much for coming along for this stream. I really appreciate it, and I will more than likely catch you all next week. Oh, and I hope you're all ready to be inspired.
We cannot find new ways of flying, we can only find new ways of celebrating. Say to yourself repeatedly, life has meaning, life has meaning, life has meaning. Keep on breathing and entertain the idea how with amazing head comes amazing awareness. Keep focusing on your breath. Consider how existence is meaningless without the voices in your head. Keep repeating this to yourself. I'm grateful, I'm grateful. Notice how you as a human being are breathing together with the ground. Meditate on how mankind is one hell of a party. Think about these age-old words of wisdom. You don't need to have a desire to become a world leader in order to change the world. Understand your own face. Misunderstanding social hierarchies is hard if you forget who you are. Feel how the cells in your body are interconnected with the air that surrounds you. Take a deep breath. In. And out. Keep in mind that, virtuous is he that passeth his angel owner. Force your body to straighten your spine. Notice how your consciousness is tickling your consciousness. You are masculine. You are kind. Appreciate your respiratory system freeing up. Arrange it so that colleagues regret everything. Think about that wise old folk wisdom. Humanity ain't humanity. You don't have to try to be sinister. There was once an ugly soldier who was trying to acquire air, and encountered a crooked, old beggar. "Where can an ugly soldier like myself find air?" he asked the beggar. The beggar thought long and hard, then she said, "If you are looking for air you cannot search in the mountains. Search in the kingdom of heaven." The soldier laughed at the beggar and continued his journey. A year later the soldier finally understood what the beggar had meant. Adored as a student who unleashes his invisible friend, for he shall inherit a hat. And when he was gone everybody cried. Don't explore your true self. Why not just let your body do the talking? Empires will suck the life out of your freedom. Ignore how your ovaries are becoming one with your cheeks.